one student from Pharmacy College to please come on the dais? Any one student from Pharmacy College to please come on the dais? Thank you, everyone. I now invite Mr. Akshay Deshpande, Quality and Systems Director of Gokhale Education Society and convener of the conference, for his welcome remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor to be amongst the distinguished gathering today. Friends, today we have all gathered for the International Multidisciplinary Knowledge Exchange Conference 2026. I am truly delighted that to do the honors on the dais today, we have amongst us the President of the function and the conference and the Secretary and Treasurer of Gokhale Education Society, Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande ma'am. Our chief guest for the function, former scientist at Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai, and special advisor to Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Sharad Kare sir. Our guest of honor, Chief Mentor MKCL Pune, Dr. Vivek Samant sir, Pro Vice Chancellor, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Dr. Parat Karkar sir, President Gokhale Education Society, Dr. R.P. Deshpande sir, Chairman Gokhale Education Society, Dr. Mrs. S.V. Sant ma'am. I would also like to warmly welcome Establishment and Maintenance Director, Shri Mr. Shailesh Gosavi sir, Principal Project Director, Gokhale Education Society, Mr. P.M. Deshpande sir, Zonal Secretary, Mr. Ram Kulkarni sir, Assistant Zonal Secretary, V.N. Suryavanshi sir, Chairperson of the Staff Training Academy and Scientific Chair of our today's conference, Dr. Mrs. Anjali Kulkarni madam, and the Organizing Secretary of the conference, Dr. P.L. Pingre sir. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to all our honored delegates, researchers, industry experts, and dear students present here today. With great pleasure and privilege, I warmly welcome you all to the International Conference on behalf of the organizing committee, to every participant who has joined us from different parts of the country and across the globe. Friends, we are here today for the two-day International Multidisciplinary Conference. Scholars, researchers, industry experts, and students from all diverse fields. The purpose of organizing this international conference by the research wing of Gokhale Education Society's Staff Training Academy is to create a global platform where researchers, academics, and industrialists can come together to exchange ideas, present innovative research, and discuss emerging trends across multiple disciplines. Gokhale Education Society has always believed in empowering students through accessible, quality, and value-based education. This international conference reflects that vision by providing an opportunity for all to integrate knowledge and to create meaningful real-life impact. In today's rapidly evolving environment, such forums are essential to foster collaborations, encourage interdisciplinary thinking, and promote meaningful academic dialogue. For all the members present here today and those who are watching online, I am pleased to share that this conference is held at Guru Dakshina Complex, Nasik, and will now become an annual event to promote the interdisciplinary thinking and knowledge exchange. As rightly said by the famous biochemist and discoverer of vitamin C, Mr. Albert St. Georgi, research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. With this inspiring thought, I would like to highlight the theme of this year's international conference, Science for Life, Innovation, Impact, and Integration. Over the course of this conference, we have organized 6 engaging sessions, namely Smart Futures in AI and Digital Innovations by Dr. Vivek Sawant, sir, Creativity, Compassion, and Social Responsibility by Dr. Amrita Banerjee, ma'am, Pharma, Health, and Life Sciences by Dr. Kamal Dua, sir, Healthy Lives and Inclusive Society by Dr. John Alex, Responsible Business and Innovation by Dr. Pawan Agrawal, Sustainable and Climate Action by Dr. Sharat Kale, sir. These sessions promise to enrich our knowledge and stimulate thoughtful discussions. We are privileged to have these eminent keynote speakers who will share their insights on contemporary developments and future directions and developments in their respective fields. Following the keynote sessions, the conference will feature multiple technical sessions where researchers will share their paper presentations. These sessions will provide an opportunity for participants to showcase their research findings, receive constructive feedback, and build valuable academic network. We have also organized poster presentation sessions allowing the participants to visualize and present their research ideas and engage in interactive discussions with fellow scholars and industry experts. Selective papers will also be published in Volume 1 of the DOI certified, double peer reviewed IMKE research journal with the US ISSN. During the valedictory ceremony, we will also be presenting this year 3 top paper awards and 3 top poster awards, namely the Young Researcher Award, the Emerging Scientist Award, and the Evaluator's Choice Award. To celebrate the spirit of culture and collaboration, a cultural program has also been organized. This program will highlight creativity, diversity, and rich traditions that brings us together beyond our academic pursuits. I encourage all participants to actively engage in these sessions, exchange ideas, exchange their research interest, to learn, collaborate, and innovate. I also warmly acknowledge everyone who has joined both in person and online from across the globe. Your participation is what makes this conference and gives it a meaningful impact. Finally, to quote something of my own, to him who devotes his life to science, nothing can give more happiness than increasing the number of discoveries. But his cup of joy is full only when the results of his studies find practical applications. With this thought in mind, I once again extend my warmest welcome to each and every one of you, and I wish this conference a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those warm words of welcome, sir. It is now time to introduce all our guests and felicitate all of them on behalf of Gokhale Education Society. It is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce the chief guest for today's function, Honorable Dr. Sharat Kale, sir. Dr. Sharat Kale is a distinguished scientist and a recipient of prestigious Padma Shri Award conferred by the Government of India in 2013 in recognition of his outstanding contributions to science and engineering. He completed his BSc and MSc in microbiology and later joined Bhabha Atomic Research Center, Mumbai as a trainee scientist. Beginning his research career as a scientific officer, Dr. Kale went on to earn his PhD from University of Pune. During a remarkable career spanning nearly 4 decades, Dr. Kale held several key positions at BARC, including Associate Director of Biosciences Group, Head of Nuclear Agriculture Division, and Head of the Food Technology Division. Under his leadership, several innovative technologies were developed and released in the public domain for social benefit. In the field of research, Dr. Kale has authored over 75 research papers published in national and international journals. His pioneering work in biosciences, environmental technology, and sustainable innovation has earned him numerous national and international accolades. Beyond research, Dr. Sharad Kale sir has been a passionate advocate of scientific temper and science literacy, striving to bring science closer to the society. Currently, he serves as advisor to the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, advisor to Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, and chief editor of the bilingual science magazine Vigyan Dhara. Dr. Sharad Kale is also a prolific writer who beautifully connects science with the society, culture, and philosophy. His notable works include the Chintan series, Vidnyanjali, Prerna, Scientific Values in the Bhagavad Gita, Science Walks the Stage, Parts 1 to 4, Alamitra Patel, A West Warrior, and Vidnyanacha Paulukhuna. As the great scientist Albert Einstein once said, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Dr. Kale's life and work truly embody this spirit of inquiry and dedication to knowledge. I request the President of the function and the conference and Secretary of Gokhale Education Society, Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande Madam, to please felicitate Dr. Sharad Kale sir, Chief Guest for today's function. What an honor to have such a distinguished personality for the inaugural of first International Multidisciplinary Conference organized by the Society. Dr. Sharad Kale sir being felicitated at the hands of Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande with a special memento designed by Sigma Technologies with the technology of 3D printing, the logo of the conference, a planter and a shawl.
Thank you, Madam. President of today's function and the conference, Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande, is a distinguished academician and visionary administrator with a remarkable career spanning more than 4 decades in the fields of education and institutional leadership. Currently serving as the Secretary and Treasurer of Gokhale Education Society, she has made invaluable and lasting contributions to the advancement of education. Her illustrious leadership journey includes over 2 decades as the principal of SMRK BKK Mahila Mahavidyalaya, where she left an indelible mark through her commitment to academic excellence, institutional development, and progressive educational reforms. She is a lifetime member of prestigious professional bodies such as the Indian Institute of Public Administration and the All India PhD Organization. She has also rendered significant academic and administrative services to SNDT Women's University, Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, where she has been associated as a faculty member, administrator, researcher, supervisor, and mentor. An accomplished scholar and prolific writer, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande has authored 12 books on diverse themes including internet marketing, women empowerment, and biographical narratives. Her scholarly work has gained international recognition, with several of her books being catalogued by the Library of Congress, London. In addition, she has edited more than 45 books and special publications with over 120 research papers in reputed national and international journals. In recognition of her outstanding contributions to education and society, she has received several prestigious honors, including the Excellent Principal National Award, the Education Contribution Award, and the Raktamitra Award. Her unwavering dedication, academic leadership, and commitment to nurturing future generations continue to inspire educators, students, and institutions alike. May I now request Chief Guest of the function, Dr. Sharad Kale sir, to felicitate President of the function, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande. The chairman of Gokhale Education Society and Zonal Secretary of Society's Mumbai Zone, Dr. Mrs. Suhasini Santa, has devoted more than 4 decades of her life to the service of Gokhale Education Society. Interestingly, her journey with the society began as a student, after which she joined as a teacher and went on to serve in several important roles, including head of the department, vice principal, and eventually retired as the principal of society's Borivali College. Her deep commitment to education and research has made her highly respected teacher, while her discipline, leadership, and strong connect with people have established her as an able and admired administrator. May I now request Dr. Parag Karkar sir to kindly felicitate Dr. Mrs. Suhasini Santa. Thank you, sir.
We are privileged to have with us Principal P.M. Deshpande, the Project Director of Gokhale Education Society with us. A visionary behind several innovative initiatives of the society, he has played a pivotal role in bringing in life the splendid Guru Dakshina Auditorium, where we all are sitting today. His dedication, thoughtful planning, and commitment to the institutional development have greatly strengthened the society's infrastructure and academic environment. Known as a man of few words, Principal P.M. Deshpande is widely admired for his peaceful demeanor, calm disposition, and quiet yet effective leadership. May I request Dr. Sharat Kale sir to kindly felicitate Principal P.M. Deshpande.
Thank you, sir. Shri Shaileshji Gosavi is someone who holds deep faith in the organization, in every individual within the organization, and in the organization objectives. When planning any event or new initiative, the issues that are noticed by Shailesh Gosavi sir, issues that often go unnoticed by a few of us, show how thoroughly he has thought through the planning process. His meticulous approach is always evident in his execution. We constantly benefit from his guidance. May I request Dr. Sharat Kale sir to felicitate Mr. Shailesh Gosavi, Establishment Director of Gokhale Education Society. Thank you, sir.
The convener of the conference and the Quality and Systems Director of Gokhale Education Society, Mr. Akshay Deshpande, represents the young and dynamic face of the society. The success of today's conference is a reflection of his tireless planning, meticulous execution, and strong commitment to quality. Though the youngest member of the organizing committee, he has worked with remarkable dedication to ensure the smooth and successful conduct of this event. Coming from a non-academic background, Mr. Akshay Deshpande has nevertheless taken every effort to uphold and carry forward the rich legacy of Gokhale Education Society and has worked tirelessly. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam rightly said, excellence is a continuous process and not an accident. Mr. Akshay Deshpande's dedication and attention to detail truly reflect this spirit. I request Dr. Sharat Kale sir to felicitate convener of the conference, Mr. Akshay Deshpande.
He has literally been on his toes for the last 4 months for the success of this event. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. R.M. Kulkarni is the Zonal Secretary of Nashik Zone of Gokhale Education Society. As a scholar, as a researcher, As a publisher, as an author, and as a speaker, the entire Nashik knows him. Very soon, he would be reaching for the publication of his 100th book. May I now request Dr. Vivek Sawant sir to felicitate Dr. Ram Kulkarni, Zonal Secretary of Nashik Zone of Gokhale Education Society. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Mrs. Anjali Kulkarni. Currently, she is working as chairperson of Gokhale Education Society's Central Coordination Committee and Staff Training Academy. She is also the scientific chair of the conference. Her journey has been from being an alumna of HPT Arts College to the position of principal at Mehta College, a member of the institution's board. Throughout this journey, she has diligently fulfilled versatile roles in teaching, research, translation, and administration. I request Dr. Vivek Sawant sir to please felicitate Dr. Mrs. Anjali Kulkarni. A very effective orator and an administrator, Dr. Mrs. Anjali Kulkarni.
Thank you, sir. Dr. B.N. Suryavamshi is the Assistant Zonal Secretary of Nashik Zone of Gokhale Education Society, a man of few words, a silent worker, a balanced personality, and a researcher in true sense. May I now request Dr. Parag Karkar sir to felicitate Dr. B.N. Suryavamshi.
Thank you, sir. The organizing secretary of this conference, Dr. Prashant Pingle, is associated with the Society's Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi College of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. For the past 6 months, Dr. Pingle has worked tirelessly with dedication and commitment to ensure the successful conduct of this conference. His meticulous planning and persistent efforts have played a vital role in making this event a grand success. We are confident that this hard work will truly reflect in the meaningful deliberations and valuable takeaways that this conference will offer.
Thank you so much. As mentioned earlier, IMKE 2026 works in hybrid mode. A few of the participants have already joined online. In the same way, a few of our guest speakers would be joining online and they would present their speeches online. A few of our well-wishers have sent their best wishes for the inaugural and the entire proceeding of IMKE 2026. We have with us wishes from respected Dr. Sanjeev Sonone, VC of YCMOU with us. Let us witness the same.
Namaskar and Vande Mataram. Gokhale Education Society, a very eminent education institute of this nation, contributing in the area of education more than 100 years, is organizing on 14th March International Multidisciplinary Knowledge Exchange IMKE 2026 with the theme of multidisciplinary education and science for life. This is the actual theme of this conference. This theme of the conference is very apt and related to the Honorable Prime Minister's dream to raising this nation as a Vikasit Bharat 2047. All the tracks selected and by the Cochlear Education Society for this conference are very apt to the Vikasit Bharat 2047. This is the pharma, then inclusive approach, then sustainability. All these areas are completely related to the Vikasit Bharat 2047 and come out with a very prominent solutions and directives for the nation to build as a Vikasit Bharat 2047. I, as a Vice Chancellor of Yeshwantrao Chavan, Maharashtra Open University, Professor Sanjeev Sonavani, wishing best for the conference. Thank you and Jai Hind.
That was Dr. Sanjeev Sononi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Yeshwantrao Chavan, Maharashtra Open University. We thank him. May I now request Chief Guest of today's function, Dr. Sharatji Kale sir, to please address the gathering.
Good morning. Namaskar. I am little uncomfortable at any function, any ceremony. In fact, my own marriage, you will say what is so great about it. Everybody is uncomfortable there. But I was so uncomfortable even at my naming ceremony that I was crying so much in the cradle. When they removed me from the cradle, then only I became quiet. So, chief guest is a center of attraction, maybe for a few minutes only. But still it makes me uncomfortable. I had told Dr. Anjali Kulkarni that please don't call me for any functions. I will talk to students. Then she had a compromise and she had her own way of making me chief guest. Okay, so thank you very much for calling me, all the dais. I know that usually you are not permitted to pull the shirt of a chief guest if he crosses limit. But I will not take disadvantage of that. I am famous for not leaving the mic till evening. But since there is already provision made for that, so I will restrict myself to a few minutes. Today's conference, the International Multidisciplinary Knowledge Transfer, it's very difficult for me to understand all the words, but it's a need of hour. That earlier they used to say that when biochemistry became a separate part, microbiology became a separate part. Within biochemistry, you had different types of chemistries. Enzyme chemistry became separate. The biotechnology became separate. So they said that there is a specialization which is needed in every subject. And unless you have a specialization, you can't understand the crux of the matter. So fine. So many disciplines came into picture, but now there is again a need, according to the time, to understand few subjects together. And that's why this multidisciplinary becomes very essential. And why it has to be a type of conference? Because you know why human has progressed. Human being has progressed, not because he has brain. Well, that is one part of it. But that is not the only reason why human being has progressed. That way, if you see the ants who have come 15 crore years ago on this earth, probably they are the most dedicated farmers in this world. They are the first farmers. If you are not aware, I'll tell you in brief how the ants, the Rani Mungi म्हणतात त्याला, त्यांची जी queen असते, that queen ant carries a spore in her mouth. From where it comes, it's still a secret to the science. But she carries that at the birth in her mouth. And then when she starts her own colony, the lot of leaves are brought by the ants, and those leaves, they form a kind of farm, and that farm, she puts this spore, and then the fungal cultivation starts. The fungus is the food for these ants. So they are very brilliant. Honeybees are very brilliant, but you know, they don't rule the world. Why human being rules the world? Human being rules the world because he can interact. If he was not interacting, recently I read a very interesting paper in Nature. They have transformed, these genetic engineers have a very, I won't say weird, but they have got all kinds of weird thoughts in their mind. They transferred one gene called, gene म्हणजे जीनची पॅन्ट नाही, one gene, they transferred one gene called NOAA. And this NOAA gene is responsible for interactive capabilities of human being. Because we have this NOAA gene, we can interact with each other. So what the scientists did, they transferred this NOAA gene into the experimental animal, that is mouse. And when the mouse started speaking, the siblings of that, the children of that couple which received this NOAA gene, they started making noise. According to because they were English scientists, they heard it as KLMN. Instead of chi chi chi, they heard KLMN. So they actually were speaking some vowels. So casually I asked the AI that if the scientist who was performing the experiment was a Marathi scientist, what he would have heard. मग त्यांनी सांगितलं कका किकी कुकू असं काहीतरी ते उंदीर म्हणतील. Now, how long it will take for these animals to speak by transferring this NOAA gene, I don't know. I don't want to commit also. There will be a big problem for human being if that happens. एखादी गाय येऊन विचारेल, माझ्या वासराचं दूध काढायचं तुला अधिकार कोणी दिला? तू त्याला आधी वासराला दूध देन मग तुला हवं ते दूध घे. अशी ती जर गायीने प्रश्न विचारला तर it would be a problem. Okay, anyway, why human being is progress is because of these conferences, because of these interactions. So they are essential, no doubt about it. Only thing is, I want to give a word of caution. See, I was in atomic energy for more than 40 years, you have heard. In fact, nobody believed that I was in atomic energy. Even my maternal uncle said, it is not, you must not have got in atomic energy. How can you get? म्हणलं का रे बाबा, माझ्यामध्ये इतकं काय दोष आहे? नाही म्हणे, biologists cannot get into the atomic energy. म्हणलं no. And then I learned something extremely very important thing from atoms. You know, all of your bodies are made up of cells. How many cells are there in your body? Probably you are not aware, or those who are biotechnologists may be aware that there are 3.7 trillion cells in your body. And there are 3.7 trillion bacteria also in your body. So a huge number of cells are there in your body. Now each cell contains about 10 to the power of 16 atoms. मला कोणी विचारलं तुम्ही मोजलेत का, मी हो म्हणून सांगेन. जास्त असतील तर थोडे काहीतरी जास्त खाल्लं असेल म्हणून ॲटम जास्त आले, बाकी काय. But basically it's the average what I am talking. So we have about 3.7 into 2 into 10 to the power of 12 into 10 to the power of 16 atoms in our body. So basically it's a fundamental unit of our body. मृत्युंजयमध्ये जर तुम्ही त्यांचं वर्णन वाचलं विश्वरूप दर्शनाचं, तर ती कणांनी भरलेली आकृती होती. आणि आपण सगळे कणांनी भरलेले लोक आहोत. आणि हे कण म्हणजेच ॲटम्स असतात. Now what this atom teaches you? I learned that in atomic energy. And when an atom gives away its electron, it becomes positive. सोडियमने एक इलेक्ट्रॉन दिला तर तो सोडियम पॉझिटिव्ह म्हणतात त्याला. It teaches you to be positive by shedding away your negativity. That's the first basic message given to you by your atom. The second important thing is that atom, is that shedding of negativity is so important. If all negativity is thrown, where it will go in the world? No, my dear friends. That negativity is shared by chlorine, and that's why NaCl bond is made. And if there were no bonds formed in this world, there would not have been Sharad Kale speaking today, and there would not be any listeners here. Because the negativity is shared at right place, it has got transferred into the positivity. And this is what we should learn from the multidisciplinary sciences or multidisciplinary subjects. सायन्स विषयी हल्ली जरा थोडेसे निगेटिव्ह गोष्टी येत आहेत, काही सगळेच म्हणतात असं नाही, पण वॉर इज फॉट and war is an extremely bad example of science. But why this happens? Because we are not ready to shed the negativity. And remember that ambition without passion or without compassion, ambition without compassion, knowledge without wisdom, and success without accountability. All these three things are absolutely useless in our life. You may have ambition, you may not have compassion. And that's what exactly what happens in one of the topics which I am going to deal in later in my session is the sustainability. The word sustainability is actually has become so routine that we have forgotten the real meaning of sustainability. If I ask you what is the meaning of sustainability, you will all tell me the Google definition or Oxford definition of sustainability, something which remains throughout undisturbed, is called sustainable. But how much of your lifestyle is sustainable? If I ask you the question and I expect an honest answer, that is what knowledge is without wisdom. This is what I am meaning. Problem is, when you buy banana, you buy banana with peel or without peel? With peel. So you should eat banana and peel should be lifted by somebody else. ये कहाँ का नियम हो गया? This is the sustainability problem with us. We are all teachers, but we are not students. What we need in this country is students. And if this seminar starts teaching us to be students, even Einstein, at the age of 76, while talking to his PhD students, he said, now I know how much physics I do not know. You know, so the humility of the person. The humility of the person, and probably that is what is missing. I hope these type of conferences make the student in you. Many times what happens is, in the inaugural session, the hall is full, and by the evening, you will find hardly few people. Sometimes in one conference, I was the only person left because I was to speak, okay, at the end of the session. And this is what something which is not really good. These type of conferences, what you should learn is that I'm going to check in the afternoon today when you are having lunch today, how many people are leaving some food into your dishes. Leaving food in the dish, according to me, is an insult to three people. One is insult to your wife or your mother, or insult to your husband if he is making food. These days it happens. Okay. So insult to the wife or mother, insult to the farmer, and insult to the Mother Earth. Now, who has given you right to insult all these three together? Are you so big? So make sure that in this same conference, if organizers tell me that there was zero food wastage in the dining hall, I will be very happy. Yes, your conference has started something. You know, it's a shame on our country that 20% of our wastage comes from kitchens, not as peels and all, as a cooked food. When the Nasik municipality vehicles are moving, you must have seen that how much of food is being wasted. And all of us are responsible for that. How can you say that you are sustainable? You are not. And this is what I mean. I don't want to blame. As I told you, my atom has told me to be positive. And that's why precisely I am here. I always have an optimistic view that if I tell people, they will listen. Maybe sometimes it happens inadvertently. It's not necessarily that you insult the food on purpose. It's just that it doesn't cross you, it has never crossed your mind. And these are the occasions, like this is why multidisciplinary is very important. That many times I may not understand the value of money. I can learn from BBA or the MBA people what is the value of money, and probably they will be in a better position to tell me. Many times I don't understand why this, what is this Samvidhan means. Everyone talks about Samvidhan, but if I ask what is Samvidhan, nobody knows about it. So how is that, so the word has become so important without understanding what it is. So I will like to learn what is the Samvidhan, what is this, what is that. That curiosity has to be there. And that is the curiosity which actually takes us forward in this world. If we are not curious enough, if you are not curious enough to ask questions, and that's why I said, I enjoy my third inning probably much more than my entire life put together, because in this third inning, I have learned so many things. Probably if maybe my white hair has helped me. My white hair is not white, actually black. I dye it white so that people respect me, you know. So the point is, you learn by experience, and this experience is so nice that it keeps me energetic, it keeps me moving, and this is where precisely I will like our people. Why these wars happen, I don't want to go into those details today, but you have to have that somewhere in mind that we have forgotten one principle which is told to us by Sri Krishna. He said that your competition should be only with you, not with others. You should compare yourself with yourself, that yesterday where I was, today where I am, tomorrow where I am. If there is a distance between the two and a positive distance on the x-axis, then you are progressing. If there is negative distance, you are regressing. We don't want such people. Okay? So we want forward-looking people. There is no there is no delete in the dictionary of nature. You can delete several messages, but there is no delete in the dictionary of nature. There are certain words. There is no word called waste in the dictionary of nature. Remember that. For nature, everything is a resource. No waste is there. So you must look at that exactly in that fashion, and suddenly you will find the whole world is very nice place to stay, very interesting place to stay. So rest of the things I will cover in my other lecture. So thank you very much for calling me and having a dialogue with you in the onset of this. I wish all success to the conference. A nice logo, I should congratulate the logo and the developer of that. I'm sure a lot of efforts have gone in organizing. I appreciate the hall which is there, and I appreciate the name also. It perfectly goes with the Guru Shishya Parampara of our country. So Guru Dakshina is such a beautiful, and the ambience of the hall, it's just beautiful. I don't have words to express. So thank you very much for giving me an extremely good experience. I'll be very happy to come again if you have wish to call me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So you said chief guests enjoy the attention or the focus only for the 10 minutes. But then if we have personalities like you as chief guests, they remain forever in our minds and thoughts. Thank you so much, sir, once again. Earlier we heard Honorable VC of YCMOU online. Now we heard the chief guest of the inaugural function offline. And as mentioned earlier, IMKE 2026 is Gokhale Education Society 2.0 with online and offline mode. A few of our speakers would be joining and delivering their sessions online. Keeping this innovation, we have presidential speech for the betterment of online participants as well in an online mode. So let us listen to the presidential address of Honorable Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande.
Chief guest of today's inaugural function, Dr. Sharat Kare, renowned scientist from BARC, Mumbai, and special advisor to Honorable Chief Minister of Goa. Today's guest of honor, Dr. Vivek Sawant from IMKE, Dr. Parag Kalkar, Pro Vice Chancellor, Savitribai Phule Pune University, all the other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, academicians, educationists, member delegates, members of the staff and dear students. It gives me distinct pleasure to be amidst you all as the president of this inaugural function of 2 days international conference on the theme Science for Life, Innovation, Integration and Impact under the platform of International Multidisciplinary Knowledge Exchange IMKE 2026. This conference is being hosted by Staff Training Academy Research Wing of Gokhale Education Society with host colleges Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi Pharmacy College and HPT Arts and RYK Science College, Nashik. So at the outset, I declare open this International Multidisciplinary Conference. Friends, Gokhale Education Society, which is proudly hosting this conference, is not just an educational organization. It is a movement, a saga of quality and excellence and innovation that has stood the test of time for over a century. As the secretary of this esteemed society, I am profoundly humbled by the monumental contributions our institution has made to the educational landscape of India. The society has done pioneering work in many domains, including women education, legal education, agricultural training, and skill-based trainings. Thanks to the visionary leadership of Founder Principal T.A. Kulkarni sir, Nausad Vartak, Principal T.K. Tope, Acharya Donde, Principal Atmaram Pant Save, Principal S.B. Pandit, and Shikshan Maharshi Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi, the main sculptor of Gokhale Education Society. It is because of these devoted educationists and thinkers, the society has made impactful and human presence over a century in educational field. Today, I offer my gratitude to all these stalwarts who always inspire us to do something innovative and socially fruitful. I am very happy that under the aegis of century-old and lead educational enterprise of India, Gokhale Education Society, with all its 4 zones, Amravati, Mumbai, Palghar and Nashik staff members, we all are here today with IMKE 2026 International Conference, and to do the honors we have amidst us honorable personalities like Dr. Sharat Kare, Dr. Vivek Sawant, Dr. Parag Kalkar. Dr. Kare has shared his views in a very meaningful way. I extend my gratitude towards all of them and towards all the elite academician stalwarts who are present here for this event today. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest, stated Benjamin Franklin. This timely insight reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is the most valuable investment any society can make. When we nurture learning, research and innovation, we are not merely accumulating information. We are shaping a better and more enlightened future for humanity. It is in this very spirit that we gather here today for the International Multidisciplinary Knowledge Exchange, IMKE 2026, a platform dedicated to fostering collaboration, sharing ideas, and generating knowledge that creates meaningful impact for society. Friends, Exchange or IMKE 2026 is born out of a profound recognition of the world's current realities. Today, we face rapidly evolving global challenges, be it in the complexities of public health, the urgent threat of climate change, massive technological disruptions, or the overarching need for sustainable development. These are not problems that can be solved in a flash. They demand collaborative, interdisciplinary solutions that transcend traditional academic boundaries. IMKE 2026 is envisioned precisely this much needed global platform. Friends, introduction of new ideas and methodologies is essential to keep up with ever-evolving landscape of the educational field. Organized as a part of the society's enduring commitment to academic excellence and global collaboration, IMKE 2026 also aims to foster interdisciplinary dialogue, promote research-driven innovation, and encourage the integration of knowledge across diverse fields. The conference will also serve as a vibrant platform for exchanging transformative ideas and addressing contemporary global challenges through collaborative academic engagement. Through conference, participants will explore innovative solutions in all verticals that can shape a progressive and sustainable future. The thought-provoking theme of IMKE 2026 is Science for Life, Innovation, Integration and Impact. We have chosen this theme because we believe that the ultimate purpose of all scientific inquiry and research is the enhancement of human life and the preservation of our world. To explore this theme comprehensively, the organizing committee has meticulously structured the conference across 6 diverse yet interconnected tracks. Furthermore, we are immensely privileged to host an extraordinary lineup of eminent global scholars and industry experts like Dr. John Alex from USA, Dr. Vivek Samant from MKCL, Dr. Parag Kalkar from Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, renowned scientist Dr. Sharad Kale, Dr. Pawan Agarwal, Dr. Amrita Banerjee from IIT Mumbai, and Dr. Kamal Dua from Sydney. To these esteemed speakers who have travelled from across the globe and our own nation, I extend my deepest gratitude. Your presence elevates this conference to a truly international standard. I hope the objectives with which this international conference is launched will be fulfilled. It is said that education is a utility which makes human a personality. So I appeal to all the delegates to make most of the discussion for betterment of humankind and to the society as a whole in this conference. Friends, as I said, the 2 days international conference will feature distinguished speakers in 6 different tracks. We have paper presentation and poster presentation sessions simultaneously going on. Just now we had 3 releases. I congratulate the authors and editorial board members. A monumental event of this scale does not happen by chance. It is the culmination of months of tireless dedication, strategic planning, and unyielding hard work. Therefore, it is my absolute duty and pleasure to express my heartfelt appreciation to the phenomenal organizing team of IMKE 2026. First and foremost, I wish to acknowledge the unwavering support of all office bearers of Gokhale Education Society, President Dr. R.P. Deshpande, Chairperson Dr. Suhasini Sant, and all other directors of Gokhale Education Society. I extend my highest commendations to the convener of this conference, Engineer Akshay Deshpande. His dynamic leadership, meticulous attention to detail, and extraordinary ability to coordinate across multiple disciplines have been the driving force behind the realization organization of IMKE 2026. I think he has seamlessly bridged the gap between vision and execution. My deepest appreciation goes to our organizing secretary, Dr. Prashant Pingle. Dr. Prashant Pingle from Sir Dr. M.S. Gosavi Pharmacy College. His relentless efforts in managing the complex logistics, coordinating with delegates from all over the world, and ensuring that every operational aspect runs flawlessly are truly commendable. I must also recognize the stellar contributions of our joint organizing secretaries, the scientific committee chair Dr. Anjali Kulkarni, members of advisory committee including Dr. Vijay Gosavi, Mr. Manoj Pandya, Mr. Lalit Mahadeshwar and Professor Ruby Oza. I must say their valuable counsel, vast experience and strategic direction have immensely enriched the framework of this knowledge exchange. I also put on record my highest appreciation to all the organizing committee members for striving hard for last 8 months to make this event successful. To all the faculty members, non-teaching staff and student volunteers of the Gokhale Education Society who have worked silently behind the scenes. Friends, your dedication is the true reflection of our society's motto and ethos. I am happy that a new double peer-reviewed scholarly journal of IMKE with ISSN USA and DOI registration has been launched today for all research scholars. Friends, with its rich legacy, Gokhale Education Society continues to serve as a beacon of knowledge, innovation and social commitment. IMKE 2026 reflects the society's vision of nurturing intellectual growth, fostering global academic partnerships, and empowering learners to become leaders of tomorrow. This landmark event will not only strengthen multidisciplinary research collaboration, but I am sure it will also further establish Nashik as an emerging hub of academic excellence and global knowledge exchange. I wholeheartedly extend my best wishes to this conference and wish this event a very grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. Without your motivation and guidance, this event would not have been possible, and we are sure that with your best wishes and blessing, this conference is going to be a grand success. Thank you very much once again. With that, we come to an end of inaugural function. I request Conference Secretary Dr. Prashant Pingle to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Madam. Respected dignitaries on the dais, dear delegates, organizing team members, and participants, a very pleasant good morning to all. I, Dr. Prashant Pingle, Organizing Secretary of IMKE 26 Conference, consider it as a great pleasure to propose vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion of the inaugural ceremony of International Multidisciplinary Knowledge Exchange, IMKE 2026, with theme Science for Life, Innovation, Integration and Impact, organized by Staff Training Academy, Research Wing of esteemed Gokhale Education Society. First and foremost, I express my deepest gratitude to the President of the function, Dr. D.P. Deshpande Madam, Secretary of Gokhale Education Society, for presiding over this inaugural ceremony. Her constant encouragement, visionary leadership, and unwavering support towards academic excellence and research initiatives continues to inspire all of us. Thank you very much, Madam. I extend my sincere thanks to our Chief Guest, Dr. Sharad Kale sir, for gracing this occasion with his esteemed presence and for sharing his valuable insights that have truly inspired and motivated all of us. Thank you, Dr. Sharad Kale sir. I would like to express our heartfelt appreciations to our guest of honors, Dr. Vivek Sawant sir, Dr. Parag Kalkar sir, Dr. R.P. Deshpande sir, and Dr. Suhasini Sant madam. Your gracious presence, valuable guidance and encouraging words have added immense value and prestige to the conference. I also extend my respectful gratitude to the esteemed office bearers of Gokhale Education Society, Dr. Ram Kulkarni sir, Zonal Secretary of Nashik Zone, Dr. V.N. Suryavanshi sir, Assistant Zonal Secretary of Nashik Zone, Professor P.M. Deshpande, Project Director, Dr. Sri Shaileshji Gosavi, Director Establishment and Maintenance, and Dr. Anjali Kulkarni Madam, Chairperson, Staff Training Academy, for their constant encouragement and institutional support in organizing this conference. My sincere appreciation goes to the convener and beloved engineer Akshay Deshpande, whose dedication, meticulous planning and tireless efforts have played a crucial role in making this conference a meaningful academic platform. I and whole organizing team of IMKE 2026 are gratified to Dr. Leena Bhatt Madam, Principal BYK College of Commerce, Nashik, for wonderful conference logo. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our distinguished resource persons, Dr. Vivek Sawant sir, Dr. Amrita Banerjee, Dr. Kamal Dua, Professor John Alex, Dr. Pawan Agrawal and Dr. Sharad Kale sir, who will be sharing their valuable knowledge, expertise and research perspectives with the participants, and I am sure that through the insightful discussions and knowledge shared during this conference, all the participants will acquire most of the required things through the future academic and research endeavors. Special thanks are due to our session chairs, Dr. Parag Kalkar sir, Dr. Anjali Kulkarni madam, Dr. Suhasini Sant madam, Dr. Chandragowda Patil sir, Dr. Piyush Somani and Dr. Vijay Gosavi sir, whose thoughtful moderations and academic guidance will enrich the deliberations to this conference. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation to today's anchors, Dr. Mugdha Joshi and Dr. Sneha Ratnaparkhi, for their graceful and effective conduct of this inaugural ceremony. I also express my heartfelt thanks to the team of SMRK BKK Mahila Mahavidyalaya for the beautiful presentation of Ishastavan and Society Geet, which created a very positive and inspiring beginning for today's ceremony. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to all the authors whose research papers have been selected for the publications in IMKE Journal Volume 1. Your scholarly contributions have significantly enhanced the academic quality of this conference and journal. I am also deeply grateful to the reviewers for their dedicated efforts, careful evaluation and valuable suggestions that helped maintain the academic rigor and quality of the issue of IMKE Journal. It gives me an immense pleasure to mention that IMKE is biannual journal, and the first volume of this journal has been successfully released today in the form of conference abstract book during the inaugural ceremony of very first IMKE conference organized by our own esteemed Gokhale Education Society. This marks an important milestone in our journey of promoting multidisciplinary research and academic collaborations. I am equally grateful to all the members of the editorial board for graciously accepting our invitation and for their willingness to be the part of this academic initiative. My heartfelt thanks also go to research scholars, academicians, presenters and participants who have contributed their research work and active participation, making this conference a vibrant and meaningful platform for knowledge exchange. I would also like to sincerely appreciate the organizing committee, volunteers, technical staff and support staff of Guru Dakshina Auditorium, whose tireless efforts and dedication behind the scene ensured the smooth conduct and successful execution of this event. Finally, I extend my heartfelt thanks to each and everyone present here today for your valuable time, enthusiastic participation and encouragement in making the inaugural ceremony of IMKE 2026 conference a grand success. Let me conclude with a thought that beautifully reflects the spirit of this conference. May the ideas shared here today spark new research, new collaborations, and new solutions for the challenges of tomorrow. With these words, I conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We also thank our media representatives for covering the entire proceedings, and the conference is being aired online too. With the permission of the chair, we declare that the inaugural ceremony is over here, and we soon begin with the technical session. A kind request to the audience to remain in the auditorium. We immediately begin with first technical session.
AI. So the same software engineer can propagate himself into a new era. Impact number 3. Within the bubble of AI, it creates large number of jobs. Something like 9.5 crore new jobs are coming just because of AI. And you require developers, you require implementers, you require deployers, you require maintenance people, you require support people. So there are a large number of jobs within the bubble of AI. And that's why you see that universities have started AIDS programs and data science programs and AI and ML programs and this and that. Okay? All that is going to be a big bubble where there are job opportunities. The fourth impact of any automation, and that is most important, and that is at the boundary of each automation, outside the circumference of that boundary, it creates a huge service sector. Every automation creates service sector. For example, the most deeply automated field in India is banking sector. Okay. Now, you look at the banking sector, the more automated it is, the more jobs it is creating. Even today, the banking sector is hungry of manpower because the service sector it creates. And funny enough, I will tell you one job which banking sector created, which didn't require much of technology. And you know what is that? When the world witnessed the revolution of ATMs, across the globe ATMs were installed, and every ATM appointed 3 or 4 security guards. And those security guard jobs in millions got created suddenly on this planet. So automation, outside its boundary, creates service sector jobs. Apart from other service sector jobs related to banking or ATM, which I am not able to mention because of time, these kinds of peripheral jobs are also created. You will be surprised that China has millions and millions and millions of cameras. Okay, it has resulted into an AI application to optimize the traffic, and therefore every Chinese citizen is saving 15% time in his life on the traffic jams. Now you will be surprised to know there are thousands of people appointed to safeguard those cameras who do not know anything about AI, but they have jobs because of automation. So anyway, automation is going to create, AI is going to create large number of those service sector jobs. And service sector jobs have one very important thing is that their people require people. Okay, they may use technology to serve people, but people require people. So we have to remember that when we go to the future, smart futures, as citizens, you should demand for AI to be like this. Okay, you want responsible AI, you want trustworthy AI, you want transparent AI, you have accountable AI, safe AI, secure AI, privacy protecting AI, and so on and so forth. So just look at this word cloud and you will see. And all these slides I made for you, I'm going to leave it with the organizers, they will mail it to you. Mrs. Bhatt, you can organize this perhaps. So the thing is, this is the only slide I have made in Marathi because spellings are identical, that's why. We want a Satyagami AI, that is the AI which is going after truth, okay, towards truth and not falsehood, not going to create deep fake, okay. Second thing is we want Satyagrahi AI, that is it is going to take only Satya in the corpuses so that it can produce only Satya. And whenever Asatya comes in, we want Satyagrahi AI. Satyagami AI is my word, Satyagrahi AI is the word of Vinoba, and Satyagrahi is word of course, Mahatma Gandhi. So we need a combination or confluence of these three. Now we come to 9 giants. I know there is a limitation of time, so few giants may not be covered, but you will have the slides and you can enjoy them later on. Okay, there are fantastic smart futures which are coming before you. Within the very mature understanding of the partnership of human and artificial intelligence, you have to now appreciate the slides which I am going to show you. These slides have several points. I will not be able to cover all of them. So while I am speaking, you keep reading and let's go forward. Okay, or later on you can consume it very, in a very calm and quiet environment later. So Microsoft's focus is on cloud and enterprise AI. Okay, and what are the various things that we are going to see? Several innovations, and what is the societal impact that will come in every next slide? One slide, first slide is techie slide, and second slide is societal benefits. Okay, so both the techie people sitting in you and the non-techie will both can be participant into this discussion. So the first thing is co-pilot agents are coming, and what the co-pilot agents will do, you can see here, lots of things. That is very few errors in operations of the businesses, creative and meaningful work to human beings, and even small businesses will as if appear to be having very large teams with them. So even if I am an MSME, I don't have to worry. I will project to my customer that at least I have got some few thousand people with me. That is the power of co-pilot agents at much cheaper rate. The Azure AI Foundry will give you certain things which are seen here, that the medical professionals will have very fast and safer diagnosis. With the help of this, by 2030, we will have no false diagnosis of breast cancer. Okay, today we have reached something like 20% reduction in false diagnosis of breast cancer with the help of AI. The radiologists are thanking AI, but we will have almost zero this thing. And the governments will allow the citizens to protect their own data and it will create lots of jobs that I will not repeat again and again. Then SLMs. SLMs is, you are already listening to LLMs, okay, but here these are small language models. Now what is the use of small language models? You will see that your personal conversations will remain within this. They will be uploaded to the cloud, but the places where there is no internet or poor internet, they will also be benefiting by AI. Today it is not a possibility, but tomorrow it will happen. Today there are certain applications of AI that you can use with no internet. For example, on this smartphone, when I sit in any flight, I put my phone on flight mode, but my character mode, hastakshar, okay, handwriting mode always works, which is the ultimate application of AI. So whatever messages I have to write to people, okay, I keep writing by my finger, okay, and after I get down from the flight, they are sent to all, okay. Or for example, my voice, dictation. This is complete power which is coming on AI. And when I go from Microsoft to Apple, you will see what is going to happen on device, okay. We go ahead with AI-driven code verification. This is a great, means sort of a heaven for, coding community. Dr. Sane is here. You will really appreciate this. All your students are going to benefit. So basically what is going to happen is the systems which are critical, like power grid. When I was in CDAC, we created systems for the automated load dispatch, okay. Very critical applications, otherwise there are blackouts and things like that. So those kinds of systems will be perfected because there will be zero error in that. Now it is like, you are proving every program, like a mathematical, like a theorem in geometry where you can prove the proposition. Similarly, you will prove the code. So once it's a mathematically proved code, free of errors, okay? In critical applications like climate modeling or hospital management and things like that, or on aircrafts where we saw some accidents recently. So those kinds of things can be averted. Multimodal, okay, audio, video, all modes coming together in medical co-pilot, and Microsoft is going to revolutionize this area. Doctors in rural areas can bring the support of the very specialized doctors from elsewhere instantly to the patients, okay. So this is democratizing the healthcare, okay, curative healthcare importantly. But we are going to also see by 2030 a very interesting future, and perhaps if proper funds are applied, all non-accidental healthcare in our own country, all non-accidental healthcare in our own country may be, evolved into only preventive healthcare. Okay, we don't have to get into curative mode at all. This is a possibility, okay, if we put the funds into that in like Bharat AI kind of initiative of Government of India. Getting to the next one is mixed reality. XR is going to change your world, especially for the student community. And you will see here that all, the things are that production 24/7, especially in the dark factories and things like that. Then no passwords at all. Students will be very happy. No forget password business. Okay, look at this. These are the things with which you will access the systems. Okay, like your face or fingerprints, and now therefore the act of parliament has been passed in Denmark that your face is your copyright, your body is your copyright, and your voice is your copyright. Okay, the legal enactments have happened. So nobody can make a fake video by showing that lady and getting into something and causing harm to her, because her body, her face and her voice is her copyright. So with those things, these are the benefits which are coming up. I hope you are reading parallelly fast because we have limited time. Now let's go from Microsoft to Google. Google's focus had been, ever since Sergey Brin started as a postgraduate student, search, search, search. When Sergey Brin, the founder of Google, was of your age, what was his project? Can I put all the websites of the world? At that time, very few websites were there. I'm telling you 1993. All few websites were. So can I put all websites on my hard disk? That was his project. And what happened? That resulted into Googleplex. And you know what are their server farms of the size which I have seen? And it's like football grounds. And large number of servers are there. When the hard disks fail, the robots go on motorcycles and replace those hard disks. Okay, that is the kind of huge hard disk of Sergey Brin now. As he started student, he cracked that algorithm, search engine, and now see what is happening now in the post AI scenario. That was BC. Now what is happening in AD? Let's see. Gemini Ultra multimodal. Multimodal means the text, the images, the audio, the video, animation, and graphics. 6 modes. Each mode has different file formats. You know that. Either of the mode will be converted into the other modes. Okay. So you just write the text and you have a video of that. You just write the text in Tamil and you have video in Hebrew. You know, these are the kind of things which Google is planning for. And here is the AI tutor that explains concepts. Today, the AI tutor only is giving like a chatbot. You know, Khan Amigo, you must have seen or you must have played with Khan Amigo perhaps. We in MKCL also created a Kranti. Kranti is a small chatbot, non-biological. And Kranti means knowledge revolution through advanced NLP technology integration, KRANTI. And you'll be surprised when I first released Kranti on our LMS, MKCL LMS, didn't tell any student that there is something. So they clicked. And in the first week, Sane sir, in first week, 49,000 students had started chatting with Kranti, asking her all sorts of questions. But we had grounded it perfectly. So those who asked the questions about the heroes of Dhurandhar, etc., she said, sorry, this is not the part of our course, okay? So otherwise, students started chatting. Now, because we have million students every year, so now that statistics is growing and Kranti is responding to MKCL's 300 different courses, okay? So whatever is not covered in the e-learning content, students ask certain questions which are very personalized in terms of that concept, and Kranti keeps on, advising. And this technology we have built without using a single token. No money goes to, California. Okay, no tokens. Everything indigenous. Okay, so basically, the scientists from smaller countries can also use very specialized tools and get into international research. This is persistent AI assistant. I don't have to tell you, many of you must be using Google Assistant. So this assistant will be having real world visual understanding, okay? Today there is more of a language understanding, but spatial, space and time, Okay, those kinds of understandings. So that's why I said cognification. We are going from automation to cognification. Like we human beings understand the things by visual perceptions, we may be able to do that here. As a result, what happens? Okay, we had a Subhashit in Sanskrit. What is that, you know? Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim. You know, you will get that now. Okay, and they will move, they will navigate independently. Next, the AlphaFold. AlphaFold has created revolution in especially bioinformatics. I keep coming to know about AlphaFold every day, mornings till evening, because my wife is a bioinformatician. So they are using AlphaFold. Sorry. So basically the drug discovery, you know, any scientific discovery, you know, so like a general purpose scientific discovery engine. So the scientists don't have to carry out large number of experiments, and perhaps we may be closer to the discovery of drugs against Alzheimer and other such diseases. So basically, the issue before us is climate change. Okay, climate calamities, climate catastrophes is coming. Year before last, Maharashtra had the cloud height on, say, Nasik was only 2 kilometers. 2025, the cloud heights on Nasik were 14 kilometers. So the heavy downpour took place, and we had floods in Nasik, and I don't have to tell you the miseries of farmers in Vidarbha, especially Marathwada, which were especially the rain shadow areas became the flooded areas. This was the shock because of climate. So we need very perfect climate modeling. When I was in CDAC, we used to solve Navier-Stokes equations, nonlinear equations, that V dot del V term, which used to be, you know, screwing our heads. Because we have to extract so much of power from supercomputers that the weather should not come before the, you know, the prediction. The prediction has to come before the weather. So the compute power is required. Now what has happened? With the help of AI, 1,000 times speed up. Because what all of us do in computing, in one equation, if I have to tell, that data into program is equal to change data. That's all is computers of the past, BC. Now what happens? So we started with a program in mind, operated on data, and created new data. Now what is computing? Now we start from data. Okay, so we take big data. Then from big data we go to machine learning, and from machine learning we go to algorithm. That is, we program is an output. Previously data used to be output, now program is an output. So much of change. As a result, the patterns in the climate have been found, and therefore climate modeling is giving the AI-assisted sustainability hopes for the human beings, okay, for the planet. So agentic search, you know, the agents can take decisions, okay. Agents don't only help you to find or write an essay for college examination, okay. That is all for ChatGPT. Of course, I must caution the students. Now, large number of tools are coming, and in next 5 years they will be perfected, that anything that is developed by AI, there will be visible watermark on that. So there are AI detection tools coming up, okay. As a result, if I write an essay by using ChatGPT, my teacher will use a detection tool, and she will find out that the machine authorship percentage in my essay is 95%. As a result, out of 100 marks, she will give me only 5 marks, because 95% marks have gone to ChatGPT. Okay. If any deep fake video is done, many husband and wife have got into misunderstandings about each other because of deep fake videos. Now these deep fake videos will have a visible watermark. So the husband will understand that this is not the real video of my wife. Somebody has played a mischief with it. Okay. Or voice cloning. Voice cloning technology has created havoc. by 2024, $7.8 billion worth of frauds have happened on this planet because of voice cloning. Because you get a phone call from your wife or from mother that please transfer so much of money immediately, I am in difficulty. And people have transferred money. And those voices were, and it requires only 30-second samples of the speaker, and then any amount of unstructured conversations can be built by using voice cloning technology. So agentic AI is going one step ahead. It will take the decisions of purchase. Okay, not only just go through catalogs, etc., and find out some things for you, or which is done currently by what are called as recommendation engines. The recommendation engines tell you which movie to see, which web series to see, which product to buy, okay, or which food to order, which design of sari suits you, and to whom to marry, and to whom to vote. You know, all these things are happening. But AI is not only going to hack your smartphones or your laptops or your email accounts or your bank accounts. It is trying to hack you. Okay, your free will is being hacked. So jagte raho is the sandesh. Okay, jagte raho. Anything that comes suddenly, you should not believe. You should be skeptical. Okay, scientific method tells you to be skeptical. So skepticism is more important, because now AI is going further, which will take the decisions for purchasing. Okay, it will not just means you don't require a recommendation engine to influence you to purchase something, secreting dopamine in your brain. Okay, so the good uses of this are shown here. Okay, like helping the patients is a very good use of agentic AI. Okay, next is the TPU, tensor processing units. Now, tensor processing will help you for these kinds of things. You know, so the farmers who do not know coding. So there is a era of low code. Now the era is coming on no code. Okay, the farmer doesn't have to having any coding capacity. He will still build an AI tool for, say, disease detection and things like very personalized things. Many other things I have shown on the slide. Android XR getting into OS, okay, operating system. Now see what will happen. Okay, it is bringing maps and search and assistants, everything into full-scale spatial computing. As a result, you see the surgeons rehearse on complex surgeries before they actually handle a patient. Okay, before touching the patient, these surgeons are completely sure about what they are going to do. Fantastic thing for the human civilization. Quantum processors, quantum supremacy applications is going to be, you know, Google's this thing. So, personalized treatments. Okay, what are they tapping? The patient's DNA in hours, not in years or not in weeks. Okay, then the Starline 3D telepresence, this is yet another way of telepresence, which I mentioned you in case of Microsoft. Google is into also in that race, which is a sort of physical presence illusion that will be created. As a result, you see each other as if you are in a single room and fully, as if you are truly present. You know, that philosophical statement I have coined on the basis of this is that the virtual reality is more real than the real reality. Are you okay? Are you okay with this? Huh? The virtual reality is going to be more real than the real reality. Huh? And especially the children will definitely live in this era. Though we have lived lots of it in physical era, okay, many of them will only operate in that era. So for them, the 3D telepresence is part of everyday life. Carbon intelligence platforms. Okay, this is going to be Google's interesting thing in terms of the climate change and global warming. So we have to cut down the carbon footprints, the energy footprints, the water footprints. When you drink 1 liter of milk, remember that water footprint of 1 liter of milk, virtual water content of 1 liter of milk is 10,000 liters of water. Okay, when 1 liter of water comes from that village to Nasik, 10,000 liters of water of that village has been exhausted. Okay, so we need the carbon intelligence, and you can see here, the consumers can verify whether the thing is actually having that kind of carbon footprint, less carbon footprint before buying. Means the environmental impact is less. If it is printed on the cover of that product, then we should be able to verify this. Now this is going into OS, okay? So you can see the impact of this is large number of research papers you can have. It will understand the summaries of it and present you. So understandable summaries is a very important thing coming out of it. You can have large number of PDF files opened, very many research papers opened, and then create a consolidated and understandable summary of it. This kind of things will come. Now let's go to Apple. And within the limits of time, we will look at this because I will not be able to cover all 9 companies. So let's see Apple. Apple Intelligence 2.0. Like I mentioned earlier, on device, okay, no internet, in flight mode, on Apple phones, what will you get? Okay, the LLM. All these things will remain private now. Okay, every AI application or why AI, any app first tells you allow. Okay, do you agree with this? Okay, they make you share your photos, they seek for your permission and then take away your contacts and your photos and your videos and everything. No longer so. By 2030, you will see private messages, photos, notes, entire thing is on your own phone, never leaving from your hands. This is the great breakthrough Apple is making, and because of this, Apple will make lots of money. Huh? And whenever there is a social unrest takes place, what happens? What happened in Iran? They closed down the internet. Okay. If some social unrest takes place in some part of the country, they close down the internet. At that time, no AI. Here, what will happen? Even if there is no internet, you can access AI. Okay. And with the help of your phone connected to internet, you are under surveillance. There is a surveillance ecology. The big brother is watching. Here, you will be surveillance free and still you can use AI. So on-device intelligence is increasing simply because the quantum computing processors are coming. Okay, that is the reason why you will be able to use AI without internet. Watch OS. Okay, health coach. It will, heart attacks, warnings can be given hours and days in advance because, as I said, preventive healthcare. Okay, so all these things, because large number of parameters of your body can be continuously monitored by AI. How many of you use Fitbits? Huh? How many of you use Fitbits? Huh? Many. Okay, great. So now, lots of parameters of your body, and so early warning of diseases, especially the mental health claims are increasing in insurance. Insurance companies are worried because so many mental health claims are coming. So now they will tell you to use Apple's devices so that early warning of mental disorders. So they don't have to give you those kinds of, claims, insurance claims. Okay. Spatial AI and Vision Pro. This is again a race between Google and Apple and NVIDIA, and many other people are getting into that. NVIDIA, in fact, is training the robots on uneven surfaces. Okay, so that the robots can enter into the places where the buildings have fallen or after natural disasters, there is a rescue operation that you have to go, and so those kinds of things like AI learned from by learning by failure how to speak or how to write, how to compose. Okay, the same thing AI is now learning in robotics, how to navigate on uneven surfaces. Okay, so Vision Pro kind of technologies are growing. So this will help the visually impaired people, then those who receive spoken descriptions of what is happening in the room, etc. Privacy cloud, okay. PCC is another thing which Apple is giving us. These are without surrendering your data, okay. The same thing which I mentioned earlier. Neural engine accessibility, neural interface control, which is called BCI. BCI is going to be a breakthrough. This year's equivalent to Nobel Prize, there is a prize in engineering. This year the prize went to brain-computer interface. Okay, just to give you an idea, today what is possible, so you can imagine what will be possible tomorrow. What is possible today is I imagine a word in my mind, and on the screen in front of me in the word processor, that particular word is inserted between two words without I typing the word, just by putting the probes here, okay. So this is possible today, because those who are, having disabilities, they don't have hands or their muscle control is gone, they cannot type, they cannot speak also. So how they will do? Directly from brain to computer, BCI, okay, that is going to be the future. By 2030, as I have mentioned here, the communication restored due to those who have lost the ability to speak or move, okay. This is the future. Apple Vision Pro 3rd generation is coming, ultra thin AR, and what happens because of that? There will be organic LEDs, okay, OLEDs which are mentioned here, micro 8K micro LEDs, okay, and with the help of that, they will give you spatial computing, replacing the iPhone and giving on-the-go services. Okay, see this. Medical students practice surgeries on holographic patients. If Dr. Mrs. Lina Bhatt calls me next time to speak and I am somehow busy, my hologram 3D will speak here and people will feel that I am absolutely present, okay. This is going to happen. So friends, my time is running out. Now only 5 minutes are remaining. So I will go rather fast because I have to deliver another lecture also. This is an interesting technology which is coming up. The full car OS, okay, the full car software. So the automobiles companies will almost be in prison of Apple. Okay, everything in that car will be fully done by this thing. You can see here. Okay, vehicle software updated and improved over the air. Your car gets better every year. Okay, when the next version comes, better and better things. So you don't have to remember कि मुझे battery charge करना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. No, fully automated. So you are free to think rather than get lost into this. Satellite messaging ecosystem. Okay. Communication without cellular infrastructure. Many places are not covered under cellular infrastructure. Okay, the telephone, the mobile phone towers are not there. Okay, when you go to forest, no signal situations come. Now here, no signal needed. Okay, so hikers or sailors or explorers, they will be always connected. There will be no place left on the planet which is unconnected. So we will create really fully connected society. Okay, so many brains get connected, and there is a David Reed's law, which says 2 raised to n power. Okay, that is, if 500 people get connected and all their subgroups get connected, the power goes to something like 10 raised to 156. That is 156 zeros over 10. That kind of power gets generated under David Reed's law. So those kinds of human communication, those kinds of synergies, they will be available, and the disaster survivors can quickly access the facilities and like that. So Apple Pay and digital identity, In a way, sorry for that, some typo there, but banking, government services accessible to 1.4 billion unbanked people today. There are large number of tools work without internet and subscriptions. This is the future. I'll stop here. Rest of the things you can consume when you get this PowerPoint presentation. I have made something like 196 slides for you, okay? So I thought that this is a great opportunity the Gokhale Education Society has given me to share some exciting ideas. I've personally enjoyed researching on this presentation for last several months because Mrs. Leena Bhatt had given me the invitation well in advance. So I really thank Gokhale Education Society. Finally, my word of gratitude. I happen to be a student of IMKE College, Nasik. Okay, I learned here. I passed out my BSc in the year 1977. So next year is a golden jubilee. Okay, and I got extremely great professors in this college. One after the other was stalwart. And therefore, I loved physics, I loved mathematics, I loved chemistry, I loved zoology, I loved botany. All subjects I loved because every subject had an inspiring teacher in this college. I cannot forget those electrified days of my life on the campus of first HPT and then RYK College. And we had a great principal. Principal Kaka Sohoni was our principal, a great man. When all of us decided to agitate to get North Maharashtra University in Nasik, you will be surprised that our principal joined our morcha. Okay, and of course we could not get that university in Nasik, but we got a great principal before us. Okay, so friends, I thank you for your patience. You are so generous that after having first completed the first session, you still came for my lecture in such a big number, and your generous audience was really impressive. I thank Dr. Kalkar and Dr. Sane for their patience as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. When sir was giving the presentation, as in how AI is going to give us so many things, is going to show us so many things for next 5 years, that reminded me of H.G. Wells' novel, Time Machine, wherein time travel was mentioned for the first time and time machine was introduced, was coined there. The same way we all felt what these 5 years are going to give us. And sir has proved his first name Vivek, wherein he has given us discernment, knowledge, and he has awakened our Satsat Vivek Buddhi to look at AI with a positive aspect. Thank you so much, sir, once again. I now request Dr. Karkar, sir, chairperson of the session, to present his views on the session.
Very good afternoon. Dr. Dipti Deshpande madam, co-chair Dr. Shirish Sane sir, we have heard Dr. Vivek Sawant sir. I thought we are in 2030s, and after his taking us in the future for all the students and participants, the thought was come into my mind, Sidanti mama gatrani mukham sa parishusyati. Ata kai bolawe? Akshay Deshpande, who is driving this conference, Leena Bhatt madam, R.P. Deshpande sir, all the dignitaries, and dear participants, I'm very happy that Gokhale Education Society is always a step ahead in making us understand about the future. The students of higher education, which we are churning right now, are going to be part of this workforce for next 30 years, sir. So they may be stepping into the life in 2030s, which you are trying to see, but it's, I don't say difficult, but future is really unpredictable right now. And they must understand today in 2026 that beyond passing the subject and beyond just getting degree, how they are going to handle the future, because the skill sets are going to change. And everything around us is so fast and so changing very fast that the skill sets we have to relearn, we have to unlearn, maybe with the technologies. And I always quote my example. When I was doing graduation, I have learned C++, COBOL, and FastPro. And I tell students that if I hadn't got distinction and good marks or competency over that tools or technology, it has no value today. Even it has lost its value. So over a period of time, I think it is, and that's why this international multidisciplinary conference of knowledge exchange is going to recharge the students' mind and participants' minds for these 2 days. I would like to congratulate the organizing committee and Gokhale Education Society for the incredible 108 years you have completed, and you're coming out with this first conference which you wish to continue to make this future understand with 125,000 students. I think what I understand about the smart future is AI and digital innovation, but what makes this future smart? It's the presence of sensors or the speed of our processor. A smart future, that is one digital innovation, acts as a bridge between human potential and global challenges. We are witnessing a shift where artificial intelligence is no longer a niche tool, but a fundamental infrastructure of our society. From reactive to proactive, we are moving from systems that respond to our commands to systems that anticipate our needs in healthcare, urban planning, and most importantly in education. That's what Sir has also demonstrated. The multidisciplinary mandate is very more important, as the theme of the conference suggests that AI cannot exist in vacuum. Its true power is unlocked only when it intersects with ethics, economics, environmental science, social governance. That is more important. Sir was talking about the ethics more important. And as a part of higher education community, we bear scientific responsibility, and definitely we must ask ourselves that how do we prepare our student for the job market that is changing faster than the curricula, because we change curricula after every 3 years, and I think the technology and tools and skill set are changing very faster. How do we use AI to personalize the learning without losing the human mentorship? We do not want the teachers are replaced by the machines and algorithms, and that is the heart of education. So how teacher is complemented by these AI tools. So it's very, very important for us to understand. What I learned from Sir's session is one word which he has started, that before ChatGPT and after AI disruption. And rightly he has mentioned that we have human intelligence and artificial intelligence, and sometimes we see that the artificial intelligence is trying to conquer the human intelligence. But his thought process was how co-working can happen, how collaboration can happen, and can we have a partnership with the machines and recent tools. One device which you have in your hand, I think, I always say that we are not the owner of the mobile, and mobile is the real owner, because the job of communication is replaced by our mobile phone. Computation, typing, translation, messaging, video, photography, video conferencing, smart meetings, speech to text, and many thousands of things one device can do. I think this is replacing our 100 jobs every day with the kind of tools. So I think there is a requirement of shift in skill sets, where we need to shift our mindset to learn new things. My appeal to all who are participating here, that this next 30 years, we are not aware how we'll travel. 2030s I was referring to, but we may not travel by air, we may travel by the maglev, because maglev of 700 km/h is tested, and 1,000 mph is under testing. So it's better than the aircraft. So if the infrastructure is ready, and one of the students in Uttar Pradesh has tested sitting on a drone and traveling for half a kilometer with 70 kilo his own weight. So our scooty will go, and we may have a smaller drone to go to Sabji market. That is possibility. So three words sir has used, Satyagrahi, Satyagami and Satyagrahi. I think we need to recollect our mind on that. I have heard that the data centers are on clouds now, and because the clouds or the data center in physical mode, they consume a lot of energy, and they need air conditioning and a lot of, now we have huge data centers are coming up. So the companies are trying to take them to the satellite, so that the temperature is also minus 50 there, and you can have solar energy, and there is no artificial energy is required. So that is the future we are seeing. Digital twins, password, I think we have all face recognition softwares are now getting into the, because once your face is registered, I think including our apps to getting into the airport are been replaced by face recognition software. Avoid creating original things. My appeal to all participants, because normally the temptation is AI can help you to curate, maybe spellings, maybe some important things are there. But I think don't try to create original things, because many times I find, Deshpande madam must be finding student come with some application requesting something. They bring the letter, type letter nowadays, no handwritten letter, with Oxford English, very floral English. So I keep that paper aside and give him plain white paper. And I ask him, can you write it again for me? Then student says, sir, I'll come back. So far, nobody has come back to me. So that is the thing, because they are not applying your mind. I wish that you should not surrender your own brain, your own intellect to the internet and these digital tools. Pros and cons is the safety tools. This is more important. Healthcare, two example I am aware of. First example is, I have heard that all these health insurance company are making you to wear smartwatches compulsory. So when you disclose that I have blood pressure or I have sugar problem, and you don't follow doctor's instructions, which is available there in the prescription you have uploaded already on their data. So that smartwatch will keep watching you, and your insurance premium will be getting revised. So you will get the first alert if you do not follow whatever instruction doctor has asked you, not to consume sugar, not to eat too sweet, or walk 500 steps every day. If you do not follow, you will get first alert, your family get second alert, and your sponsoring company or institute get third alert, and your insurance premium will be doubled. It is not depends upon your age or your previous insurance, depends upon how you follow. And same thing I think I have seen in vehicles also. These all smart vehicles, the company is clearly, you can't say that I was not driving fast. I was slowly driving, but somebody had dashed me. But this all is clearly recorded. One thing which I wish that a country like India, when you're going with so much ahead with the technological things, can do is reconfigurable computing, because our machines, our mobile phones and our computers are not compatible with the future generations. So country like India, where we have so much this hardware is being used, to reconfigurable computer, I think all students who are from technological background and researcher can really think that can our same mobile go from 4G to 20G without changing the handset, without changing the hardware? Can our computer will be workable? Because what we find is investment in the infrastructure, investment in getting new computing and all these things is becoming very costly, because every now and then it is getting replaced because it's not updated, and you have to either upgrade or replace it in a buyback method. But what we can do? So it's a very, very interactive session where we have tried to see that what can be the smart future, how it can be affect our day-to-day life, and your digital footprints in a two-way, like a two-way sword. It can help you also, and it can create issues and challenges for all of you. So I think this multidisciplinary conference where all researchers are going to be present, and you have various sessions, will definitely help all of us to understand that how we have to address the challenges of the future, how we have to be prepared for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. When a true academician becomes an administrator, Not just the institute or the university benefits, but the society at large benefits from the same. And Dr. Parag Kalkar sir is one of the ideal examples of the same. Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the conclusion of the first session, and to propose vote of thanks, I invite Dr. Shirish Sane sir, Principal of R.S. Sapat Engineering College, which was the organizing college of the present session.
Good afternoon, and it's my privilege to present vote of thanks on behalf of the conference organizer. I am thankful to Dr. Vivek Sawant. I consider you as my role model, sir, and that is why this is my privilege and honor. Right from BC to AD, sir has given a fantastic presentation. We all always think about the future, and now with AI and digital revolution, we think about smart future. So thank you for this interaction. I am also thankful to Dr. Parag Kalkar sir for accepting our invitation, coming here and interacting with us on this topic. Both these gentlemen are very busy. They have a tight schedule, but despite that, you have accepted and interacted with us. Thank you once again. I am thankful to all the Gokhale Education officials, Dr. R.P. Deshpande, Dr. Mrs. Dipti Deshpande, Dr. Mrs. S.V. Sant, Dr. R.M. Kulkarni, all the other officials of Gokhale Education Society for their guidance, help, support, and motivation. Thanks to the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to work as a co-chair. Thanks to all the members of organizing committee who helped us in making this session interesting one and a value-added one for all the participants. Last but not the least, thank to all the participants for patient listening, and I'm sure this lecture will go a long way and will trigger more and more thinking. With these words, I take your leave. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I thank all the members of this present session, and I hand over the charge to Dr. Mugdha Joshi, MOC, for the next session.
Thank you. We are immediately going to begin with our next technical session. I invite the chairperson for next technical session, Dr. Mrs. Anjali Kulkarni, chairperson of Staff Training Academy and scientific chair for the conference, and co-chair of this session, Professor Pankaj Gogari, principal of N.B. Mehta College, Bordi. All the participants are requested to be seated in the auditorium. We are immediately going to begin with the next session. We will be starting with our next technical session soon.
virtual worlds. The space must be safe and non-judgmental for actual and potential caregivers and mothers. In order to design virtual spaces in a caring mode, prejudices and biases along various axes which culturally determine the meaning of care and might create oppressive environments for caregivers have to be removed. When virtual spaces are imagined and designed with a care-based orientation, we can hope to move forward in realizing the full potential of these technologies to uphold an emancipatory vision of mothering and care. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam, for that beautiful session. Dr. Amruta Banerjee from IIT Mumbai. She very beautifully explained how mothering through virtual.
I'm really happy that the second session, the second has very easily, moved in, the second session has moved very easily, moved in, the second session has moved very easily from the first section, where in the first section, Dr. Sawant was speaking about virtual reality, virtual reality, and in the second session now, we have been speaking about the concept of caregiving, the concept of mothering, aided by virtual reality. Dr. Banerjee spoke about the philosophical reconstruction of the aspect of mothering, the unbodied, the embodied of the mother or the caregiver, with reference to artificial intelligence. She was talking about caring from inside and outside. The most important word that I feel is ethical concept, or the concept of ethic, with reference to caregiving. She has concentrated only on the concept of motherhood, but this can be extended far more into the entire gamut of caregiving. The topic brings together technology, philosophy, and gender studies. She spoke about how virtual reality technologies reshape the idea of caregiving and the philosophy known as the ethics of care. Ethics of care is a moral philosophy emphasizing relationships, empathy, and responsibility towards others rather than just rules or rights developed by philosophies such as Carol Gilligan, Ned Noddings, and others. Due to the paucity of time, let us come down to the basics. The core ideas in this philosophy are moral decisions which arise from care, compassion, and relationships. Humans are interdependent, not isolated. We are afraid that virtual reality might make us islands. But here we have to acknowledge that humans are not islands, they are not isolated, they are interdependent. And artificial intelligence will help us augment that interdependence and helps in giving better care, listening, nurturing, and emotional support are central moral actions. The ethical part of this entire argument is that listening, nurturing, and emotional support are central moral actions. Inspiration from traditional ideas of and caregiving. Images of mother care. Have images of how we have to take care of whoever. Now these in an artificial environment, in an augmented environment, how do they change? Are they compromised in some or the other way? The next point that we are talking about is mothering. Can we define mothering? Is it possible to have a definition for mothering? Mothering is not just being a biological mother. It includes a broader picture of nurturing, protecting, guiding, and emotionally supporting others. These are some extremely abstract ideas that we need to bring into concrete form when we are preparing these, the apparatus, for example, for the artificial intelligence to help us in the caring mode. Nurturing, protecting, guiding, emotionally supporting others. Mothering is equivalent to ethical care, and that is, I'm using a metaphor for that. Mothering through virtual reality. This is what now we are going to talk about, or what Banerjee Madam has already spoken about. With technologies like virtual reality now occur in digital environments. She has spoken about the entire process of how during the pregnancy phase and later on, how AI can support the mothers and how they can improve their conditions. But this can be applied to all caregiving relationships. Long-distance parenting, for example. I'm trying to give you examples so that what she spoke becomes really very, in a way, near to us. Examples that are very close to us. Long-distance parenting. Imagine a mother who is staying away from home, especially during the corona times. We had the corona warriors, the doctors, and you had a number of advertisements that showed us that the mother is somewhere away, and then she's talking to the father, telling him to take care of the child in a certain way. I think it was a Vicks vapor or some sort of that kind of a medicine that they were talking about. So advertisements also are now talking about this kind of virtual caring. Long-distance parenting, where they can read stories to children in a virtual room, attend events virtually, interact in shared digital spaces. The second area could be care of elderly parents, emotional support given to them, share experiences virtually with them, monitor their well-being, try and connect with the doctors, try and connect with people who are the actual caregivers. Therapy and emotional support, trauma therapy, counseling, emotional companionship. Care is expressed through virtual space and presence. These are the various aspects, and we could add many more, where you could care, where you could give attention, where you could pay attention and give care in so many different scenarios. But this creates new ethical questions. Is virtual presence the same as equivalent to physical presence? Dr. Banerjee ended her presentation by saying that, yes, there could be some disadvantages. There could be something lacking when you are talking about physical presence and artificial presence or virtual presence. Is virtual presence the same as equivalent to physical presence? Authenticity of care is another question. Is the relationship genuine? Does technology mediate or dilute care? I'm just raising these few questions related to what we have been listening so far. There is another problem, inequality of access. Not everyone has access to the virtual mode. Not everyone will be able to get the benefit of these gadgets that would be now produced. And emotional dependency. Virtual environments may blur boundaries between real and simulated relationships. Exactly what Madam was speaking about. So in traditional care, what do we have? We have physical proximity, we have face-to-face interaction, we have local family relationships, we have human-only care. As opposed to that, in the VR-mediated care, there is virtual presence, an avatar-based interaction. It could be your photograph, it could be you in a digital form, global digital caregiving, human plus technological mediation. So it is technologically extended care. Care ethics must evolve with technology. Can technology become a medium of empathy? How can we design compassionate digital environments? What responsibilities do developers have when creating a VR social world? For example, a mother living abroad uses VR. She enters a shared virtual home, helps the child with homework, attends a party virtually. The emotional intention of care remains, but the mode of presence changes. The intensity is the same as the real world, but is the satisfaction wanting? That is a question that could be posed. Creativity in the use of technology to sustain relationships, compassion, harmony. Mothering through virtual reality explores how digital technologies transform the way we practice, care, empathize, and become responsible towards the others, leading to new ethical frameworks in the philosophy of care. I'm tempted to refer to a book that almost all who live in Maharashtra must have read, Shyamchi Ai. The way in which Shyam's mother looked after her son and taught him the ways of life. श्याम एकदा आंघोळ करून ज्या वेळेला बाहेर आला तर जमिनीवर पाय ठेवायचे नाहीत, माझे पाय मळतील म्हणून त्यांनी आईला सांगितलं की नाही नाही मी आता जमिनीवर पाय ठेवणार नाहीये कारण माझ्या पायाला माती लागेल. आईनी तिचा पदर अंथरला आणि त्याच्यावर त्या श्यामला उभं केलं. ती म्हणली पण एक लक्षात ठेव, जसं पायाला माती लागू नये म्हणून तू इतका लक्षपूर्वक बघतोयस, तसंच तुझ्या मनाला माती लागणार नाही याची तू खात्री कर आयुष्यभर. आता ज्या वेळेला अशा पद्धतीचं when you start rearing your child in this manner, is it really possible in a digital reality to be able to naturally rear the child in this manner? That is a question. I mean, these are the limitations that we could foresee. Mothering has always, been, we have a typical image of the mother, wherein mother has always been the person who looks after the child, who protects the child, who is keen about the well-being of the child, so on and so forth. If I give you the example of Toni Morrison's novel, Beloved, where Sethe, the mother, decides to kill her child to save her from slavery. And she feels that she is right in doing what she did. Now, these questions, whether mothering is just this or mothering is much more than what we are defining, anticipating, these questions remain unanswered. We need to answer these questions while venturing into the artificial intelligence or the augmented reality patterns. I'll just wind up what I have to say with one remark.
Story. I used to have a mentor. His name is Professor Michael John Rathbone. He passed away. He was from New Zealand. One day he came to me and he said, Cam, I'm really not getting sleep. What should I do? I'm really not getting sleep. I said, you're a pharmacist. You should be knowing it, what you need to take, rather than you asking me if you are not getting sleep, what you need to do. He said, I have taken all sedatives, everything. I'm still not getting sleep. So I said, do meditation, do yoga. You might get sleep. He said he didn't, still getting sleep. He has tried everything. I said, come to my lecture, you'll sleep. And I'm sure in today's lecture, even it's a post-lunch, I try my best that you should not sleep. And if any one of you out of this crowd which is sitting, if get the message away across the line and you start working in this area, the purpose of my talk is done. I am not worried whether out of this crowd even 80% of the people are getting what I am saying. Even just one person, I managed to make the impact. The purpose of all the travel coming from Australia to here is ticked. You won't believe, students like you, when I go on a conference, sometimes they come and meet me. I have 2 PhD students from India in my lab, those who I met in conferences, and they are with me. So I really don't know, maybe any one of you might come to my lab to do the PhD. But anyway, I'm very conscious of time, so before actually I start, this is the topic of my talk, which what I have done is I have tried to blend what I do in my lab with the sustainability goals. Because these sustainability goals are nowadays in every institute sitting on the wall of every institute, that we have to follow the sustainability goals so that we live happier and healthier. And I'm trying to do the same. In my laboratory, 80% of the work I do on lung diseases. I primarily work on asthma, COPD, and lung cancer. But why I do that, I'll give you the answers. How many of you are pharmacy people here? Can you just raise your hand? All right, 70%, 60% are pharmacy. That's great. I believe rest of the disciplines are sitting here, so it's great that you are hearing this talk. Okay, now I'm coming from this country, which is a very small country as compared to India, but I born and brought up in India. I'm an Australian Indian, but been living and had my up to the PhD from here and then overseas qualification. The state which is shown in a green color is where I'm coming from, which is the New South Wales, and it is the second highest thickly populated state. And I believe everyone knows these 2 hallmarks, the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. They are the 2 major icons. They were very close to my previous university. In my introduction, you might have heard Associate Professor with University of Technology, Sydney. From the bridge, instead of going on the side where the buildings are, if you go on the other side, just 5 minutes, University of Technology, Sydney is there. But now I have moved from January as a full professor to the Western Sydney University, which is little away from the center of the city and these 2 icons. So this is a university where I have moved, and also this is the institute where my research and office is. And this is one of the heritage building. And what is heritage building means? You cannot even touch one brick of that building, because this is such an old building and they have preserved it. It is a very heritage building, and inside it is all modern. But outside, you cannot even move even a single grain of any brick. This is another building of the Western Sydney University where my research happens, and these 2 buildings both forms a part of the Western Sydney precinct. There are 3 research institutes which are based in this, and I am in the second one, which is called as National Institute of Complementary Medicine Health Research Institute. Now, this Western Sydney University had multiple campuses. They had campus in Campbelltown, they had campus in Blacktown, they had campus in Parramatta. Parramatta in Sydney is called as a little India, because a lot of Indian population lives in Parramatta. We have campus in Penrith, we have campus in Hawkesbury. There are so many campuses of the university, and they're not small campuses, they are huge campuses, which is across just in Sydney. And they also have a campus in Indonesia, and one of the campus is even starting in India as well. This is my previous university where I'm still affiliated because of my PhD student, which is University of Technology, Sydney. And you can see that the building, which is a glass building, it is only just the library and just the student amenities. There is no teaching in there. I'm also, this is another part of the UTS, and all the glass, you know, the 6 levels is the place where pharmacy is, where I used to teach. And at the bottom, the red color building, you see at the bottom of the school is a bar, So when you don't get a grant, you go there, you get a grant, you go there. It's literally a bar. I'm also a research leader with the Woolcock Institute. Woolcock Institute is the #1 institute in Australia and New Zealand for the respiratory health. And my team also been a part of Woolcock Institute, which is a part of Macquarie University. I've been also affiliated with the Hunter Medical Research Institute, which is a part of the University of Newcastle. And you can see the bridge which is coming out of the building. It connects to the John Hunter Hospital, where I get all the patient samples from the bronchoscopy, which I test in my lab. I'll show you the results as well, but let me set the scene first. Why respiratory diseases? Now, these are the sustainability goals, and everyone knows that. I'm not going in detail. I believe, you know, the United Nations has already set up these different 18 sustainability goals. And I am going to focus on 2 goals in my research, actually it works, which is the good health and well-being, and also how we can use the approach which is very industry-driven in a very resourceable and a sustainable way. And also a bit on the responsible consumption and production, because every one of us use a lot of chemicals in chemistry and in pharmaceutical sciences. How we can bring green chemistry into the picture. Now, this is the main question. Why chronic respiratory diseases? Why? Why someone should work in this area? Anyone from the audience want to answer this? If it's online, I usually don't do online. But I really want to ask, why chronic respiratory diseases? Why someone, I think you might be doing, some of you, masters by research in pharmaceutical sciences, you might be doing PhD, or maybe you might be doing some of your capstone project in undergrad. But why you have to focus on respiratory diseases? Why? Anyone? Sorry? Pollution. That's one of the major 60% of the answer. And the pollution is everywhere. Do you think it is not in Australia or it is not in any Western country? It is still there. Pollution is one of the factor, but let me show you more statistics so that I can convince you why lung diseases. And as I mentioned, out of this crowd, even if one person managed to start thinking and start working something in this area, the purpose of my talk and the visit is absolutely 100% taked. This is Lancet. Lancet is one of the very big hi-fi journal, and it has clearly shown the red color areas of the Indian maps are the one where the chronic respiratory diseases are very highly existing. And you can clearly see in the northern parts and the bottom of the southern parts, they are very excessively existing as compared to the other counterparts of India. But why it is happening? Why? And even if you go in clinics, every time in the outpatients department, there are so many cases which always come with respiratory diseases. And that has clearly shown that almost around 45% is not a small percentage. They come to the clinic with infections, with respiratory infections. And COPD. COPD is a disease which is called as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which is also called as emphysema. It is commonly existing in India for 2 reasons. First reason, because there is a lot of people smoke. Smoking is enormously prevailing in India and is in Western countries as well. And on top, pollution make it worst. I'll ask only one question to you guys. I'm sure everyone knows in your family there should be someone, maybe not your direct father, maybe not your direct brother, or not an immediate family member, but definitely in your family there is someone who smokes. And even if you go to the rural parts of the India, people still use wood fire to cook the food. Imagine the woman who is sitting just next to the wood fire. Don't you think that smoke is really affecting her health? It is. It is. It is scientifically proven. And imagine the person who is sitting next to it eating the food, they are the passive smokers. And they have COPD. And I can bet you in this crowd, there would be at least 20% of the students or staff, those who have undiagnosed asthma. I am having undiagnosed asthma, but I got tested lately and I was having mild asthma. We all think we are happy and healthy, but there are so many undiagnosed asthma. And also, it is one of the poor disease which is killing a lot of particularly Indian, the population. India, every year, asthma medications are always rising in the sale. And if you really look particularly in kids, if you come to the Western country, kids even get allergy because of peanuts. I was just having in lunch the peanut chutney. Am I correct? Peanut chutney. I love it. It was my first time I had that peanut chutney in Maharashtra. I love it. But if you give it to kids in Australia, white kids, they get allergy. They get allergy very quickly. And they get allergy because if you have asthma, the condition exacerbates. It exacerbates. And also on top, if you see, this is just a picture of Delhi, which happen in winters. Winters are going now. The smoke, when it comes with the fog, it forms smog. And imagine a pregnant woman going outside in that smog. Imagine an elderly person going out in smog. Imagine a person who have already asthma, COPD, or lung cancer, or any condition of lung, and they're going out in that condition. What do you think? Everything exacerbate. I work on a cellular and molecular level. Epithelial cells of your lungs are very sensitive, very sensitive. And this was, I think, as I mentioned, that it's completely rising the asthma medications, but this is the reality. And this is my pitch to everyone. I believe everyone understands English and everyone can read this. This is the news which is being published in 2020. And in summers, in Melbourne, there was extreme bushfires. This is the latest news. No, this is old one, 2019, which was catastrophic. And all this smoke, it comes to the city. This is a real picture which is taken by one of my colleagues who travels on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. You can clearly see, normally the sky is very crystal clear blue. But this is a smoke which comes out of the bushfire. And it is not only just restricted to the Australia, it is in Canada, it is in United States, because there also you get bushfire. And in Indonesia, it is next level. They burn the forest. Every year they burn forest. And all the smoke of Indonesia, it comes to Singapore and Malaysia. How many people affect with this kind of a smoke which is coming from a different country even? Imagine. This is a video, I believe it should play. I believe that will give you a little idea how bad in India it is. Oh, there's no volume. It's okay, if it's not working, then I can jump to next slide. If it's not working, that's fine. It's okay. So in this particular slide, what they were showing is, if you see, this is just the bushfire. You know, in Punjab, they grow the crops and they burn at the end. Imagine those crops when they burned. But if you really hear the statistics, what that woman is saying is the same statistics what I have shown in WHO. This is all, you can see 2.5 million is just because of the pollution. It is not a small figure which is just happening in India actually. I think I will jump this to the next slide. How can I go to the next slide? It's not going. It's not going. Okay. All right. Now I'll show you some more statistics and then I'll show you some my direct research. So as we know, India, the lung diseases are primarily, it's an umbrella. How many of you have heard of a new term called ACOS? ACOS, A-C-O-S. How many of you have heard of ACOS? Anyone? It is a new disease which is the overlap between asthma and COPD, which is called asthma-COPD overlap syndrome. So you can imagine there are so many diseases: pulmonary fibrosis, asthma, COPD, lung cancer, any infections, everything is just chronic respiratory diseases. 4 million premature deaths are just because of lung diseases. Tobacco smoke is one of the main reasons. Out of that, if we really see, India is the second largest consumer of and the third largest product, producing of tobacco in the world. And approximately, you can see the percentage, 28.6% of Indian population, they eat tobacco products, out of which 260 million tobacco users are in the country. Don't they have COPD? They will 100% have COPD. Doesn't matter which scale it is. You know the grades of COPD? There are 4 grades of COPD. And lifespan already is less. On top of that, if you have a disease, you are reducing the lifespan. If you talk about asthma, according to WHO, there are 300 million people worldwide have asthma, out of which almost in India there are 18 million people, and it costs almost around slightly less than billion of the Australia. In chronic obstructive disease, there are 64 million people in the world have COPD, out of which it ranks 3rd in the world, this disease, and India have 22 million people of the COPD. Similarly, lung cancer is also been increasing, have a very low survival rate, and also if we talk about infections, there are so many infections. We have just come out of COVID few years ago. Influenza is very common. Influenza is nothing but it's a common cold. And this common cold can even lead to death. And imagine, every year, every 10 years or 100 years, whatever they say, a pandemic comes, and that can lead up to 250,000 to almost 500,000 deaths. And almost with respiratory infections, which I showed you statistics, it's been tremendously increasing. But if you go to the clinic, every chronic respiratory disease, doesn't matter, asthma, COPD, lung cancer, everyone have 3 things in common. In normal language, airway become inflamed, it will become little constricted, so you have difficulty in breathing, which we call it as an hyperactivity, and your epithelial cells start changing the morphology. If you go to the clinic, any clinician will give you 2 things. First thing, they will give you inhaled and systemic corticosteroids. I'm sure any pharmacist can tell. Dexamethasone, fluticasone is one of the top medication at the moment which any clinician across the globe. You go, they give you fluticasone. They give you salbutamol inhaler, and they give you beta-adrenergic agonist. But there is a problem here, and the major problem is, my screen is gone, but the major problem is, can you set up that? But the major problem is, if you keep taking that steroids, there is a term called steroid insensitivity. It means steroids have threshold. Once Sophia is currently working on this project, and Manisha did that. So what they'd done actually, they took that curcumin, and I'm talking about this company sitting in a western side of the world, in Sydney. And they prepared these liposomes. They trapped the curcumin into liposomes, and when we tested these liposomes, it has clearly seen that they were very effective against lung cancer. They were very, very effective against lung cancer. We have also seen these liposomes also reduce inflammation in the lungs. So any inflammation which happened because of asthma. So at the moment, what I'm doing for this company is, but imagine where the curcumin is coming from? India. But who is exploiting this in the Western world? And another company called Pharmacobiotechnologies. What we're doing now is, we are trying to sell those tablets containing liposomes as a prophylactic. So it means when we go outside, I have shown you so much of data that so much of pollution is in Maharashtra, Delhi, overall India, including Australia. So even if we are taking those nutritional supplements, we can reduce our chances to keep our lungs healthy. We have clearly shown that all the important inflammatory markers were reduced. We have also shown the cigarette smoke, because of which the COPD happened. I showed you before so much of data. It was also been reduced when this curcumin was taken in liposomes form. We have also shown very clearly in the lung cancer as well. And now, I'll show you some other interesting research. How many of you have heard of agarwood? How many of you have heard of agarwood? Anyone? Agarwood is the oil which comes out of an agarwood plant from the what we call as the bark. The bark of the tree, the oil which comes out of it we call as agarwood oil. It is commonly used in Middle East for the sleep disorders. Those who don't get sleep, in the Middle East they give agarwood oil. So this company, which is a Melbourne-based company, they were preparing a lot of cosmetics. They were preparing hand wash, body lotions, mascara, all these things containing agarwood oil. These are the two CEOs of the company, Jesse and Alan. They gave me a little quantity of the agarwood oil to test on. You can see that cigarette smoke. This is what I work on. When I tested that pure agarwood oil converted into nano emulsion, because we cannot take agarwood oil as such, because no absorption in the body. So we need to prepare the emulsion. So I prepared nano emulsion, and when we use that nano emulsion on the cigarette smoke cells, it was reducing all the factors, all the important factors. I'm not telling detailed science. You can easily refer the paper we have published. All the important anti-inflammatory, pro-inflammatory, and also what we talk, pro-survival, everything was changing. So it was reducing. What we did was, we did test it against lung cancer also. And it showed amazingly promising effect. So this company took an advantage and they patented it. This is a patent. It is currently patent in 6 countries. And we are currently moving. This is the research which is purely done in my lab by a PhD student. And it is now in patent in 6 countries. And these 2 people, and because they are just translating that into a direct formulation, which is not any big thing, nasal spray, so that anyone can have it very easily. We are converting into a nasal spray, and that can be into the market. This work is done by my PhD student Gabriel on the left from Italy, and Keshav was a senior postdoc. This is another company. This is a very interesting story. I don't want to show you too much of data. I can talk detailed science as well. But what I want to bring in you is the collaboration, the multidisciplinary approach. This is a company called Medicinal 9. It is an Indo-German company. The Indian counterpart is in Mumbai. His name is Prakash Solanke. So I don't know how to say. I say Prakash Solanke. the last guy at the end. And the German counterpart of the company is Joachim, which is the third photo. They both actually prepared a suspension of 9 phytoceuticals. If you Google Medicinal 9, you will get the company. And on that company, you will see that suspension, 9 plants, 9 different plants, extracts prepared as a suspension. And it was prepared during COVID time. You can go to their website, you can clearly see that suspension was actively shown promising against COVID-19. Clinical data is there in humans. You can go to their website, I'm not telling lie. This is not done by me. But how they approach me, I'll tell you. So this story all started of this company, which is an Indo-German biotech company called Medicinal 9. They also have a branch in US now. They prepared that suspension containing 9 phytoceuticals, and they shown that it was very promising against COVID-19. And slowly they also showed they were also promising against long COVID, which is the side effects which come because of COVID-19. So they approached me, and because they seen my other research of other companies, they gave me that suspension, and I tested against lung cancer. It was clearly showing, it comes as a bottle like that. It was showing very promising against lung cancer. We are currently testing it on animal models. So hopefully, it should definitely be a promising results. This is another PhD student, Ridhima, who is currently in US doing postdoc. We also used various other drugs like naragenine. Naragenine is also a very plant-based drug. We have clearly shown that it was effective against the lung cancer. We have also worked on other drugs like quercetin. They also show all the important hallmark features like IL-6, IL-8, IL-1 beta. They were very reduced when compared to fluticasone, which all clinician gives. We also work on celestrol. Celestrol is another drug which is also a plant-based, but it only shown effect in IL-1 beta. It didn't show any effects in any other factors at all. Berberine. I think this is very interesting story. How many of you have heard of berberine? How many of you have heard of berberry? Berberry is a fruit. Berberry is a fruit, it gets. And berberine comes out of it. Berberine even comes out of your apple. Apple. Why we say every time eat fruits? Why every time parents say to the kids, you must eat fruit. Don't eat burger or a pizza or a ABCD. Because there are so many natural active ingredients sitting in there. Berberine sits everywhere, including red wine, white wine, garlic. Berberine sits everywhere. Berberine is a very big story for us. We started our small research with berberine. This is my PhD student, Meenu. She started working on understanding on lung cancer, and we have clearly shown that it was suppressing lung cancer through 5 mechanisms. And the main mechanisms they were targeting was epithelial mesenchymal transition, which is here, proliferation, and also you can say apoptosis, the killing of cells, and migration. And you can see all the factors which were reduced. What we done is, we prepared berberine nanoparticles. We cannot give berberine as such, because I mentioned to you, any plant-based drug you take, it will never absorb in body because of poor absorption. So we need to convert that into nanoparticles or liposomes. So we converted into nanoparticles, and it clearly shown it was reducing lung cancer. We studied also additional studies, and that was another PhD student, Vamshi from Hyderabad, and all the important hallmark features, CXCL8, CCL20, HO1, they all were reduced when it's treated with berberine nanoparticles. With our collaborators from Manchester in UK, we tested against COPD, which is because of smoking. And it also reduced all the hallmark features. That's the summary over there. You can easily, I'm happy to share my slides. You can refer the papers. All the scientific people, if you want to contact me, I'm always there. You can contact me anytime. But my main aim is to show you why respiratory diseases, why someone should work on that, and what else you can do being living in India, working in the phytoceuticals area. This paper has just published last week or 2 weeks ago, quercetin. And this is another PhD student, Mangesh, who has clearly shown when quercetin being converted into nanoemulsion, it can reduce all the hallmark features of the cancers, what we have shown through the proteomics and the gene analysis. We also, as I mentioned to you, narogenin, I think it's the same thing which I have showed you before. Sorry, it's a repeated slide. This is another study of rutin. We have shown clearly that rutin can also suppress the cancer as well as the inflammation in the normal asthmatic cells. And these cells are not just the normal cells, these are the cells directly from the human patients. This is berberine. Further, we studied on more cancer-derived, I think this is a repeated slide, sorry. Yeah, okay. So after that, we tested berberine on lung cancer, and it has shown quite an effective data, which clearly showed that it's reducing, and also on COPD. I think it's repeating. I don't know why. Am I doing, oh sorry, I'm pressing wrong button. Okay. And how many of you know remodeling? How many of you know remodeling? What is remodeling? Any particulate matter, even if you go outside and in a smoke, if you inhale something, when it reaches to your lungs are covered by epithelial cells. When any small particle, which is called as particle 2.5. I was in Taiwan last November. Taiwan is worse than India. China is having way more pollution than us. They are worst. So these particulate matter, which is called PM 2.5, when we inhale and it sits on the lungs, your epithelial cells, it starts changing its morphology. They are normally very straight. They started breaking or they started changing the morphology. If they start changing the morphology, they treat lot of mucus. And when mucus comes, your airway becomes clogged. It means you have difficulty in breathing. So my PhD student, he done actually that is called remodeling, when the cells started changing their shape. So he tested that against the remodeling, these berberine nanoparticles, and they clearly shown that the remodeling was reversing. It was reversing. This is the amazing study which is currently happening in my lab. This is a magical drug. This has just come into the market called NMN. You will see very soon in India so many products with NMN. What we have shown is, in COPD, it reverses everything. Even the cell aging. When the cell become aged and they die, they can make your cell healthy. It means you can reverse the aging. NMN is a drug. It was from a company called Longevity Life Sciences, which funded my lab. And this is the first company in Australia where the NMN is listed on the TGA list because of the data. This is the data, what we generated. And we clearly shown, I'm not going into the depth of the data, but it clearly shown it reversed the aging. It clearly reversed the aging. All the proteomic, every data in COPD. Now this company is already talking to us so that we can start animal studies now. Berberine studies was so popular that looking at the paper, how many of you know SBS? SBS is a very big news channel. They actually called me and they interviewed me. Because berberine, when they saw the paper, because China people, they started publishing so many stories of my work. There were 35 different news channels who published across berberine so many stories, so many stories. At the moment, there is only one company which is taking that further, which is Aerogen, which is purely a respiratory company in Ireland. But the real impact, this is another biological studies. We work in our lab. I can quickly show you some biology study. So we have shown that when a person, he gets COPD because of smoking, and if it gets infection on top, the normal infection, which we called cold. So this is a person which has COPD and you get flu, which is cold, their condition become exacerbate. It's really hard for them to breathe. So what we have shown, the microRNA 125A and B's go up in your cells, and when we actually, this is the cycle we have shown all in human cells. that because of the A20 and mitochondrial antiviral signaling through NF-kappa B, it actually releases a lot of inflammatory cytokines and it exacerbates. But if we block that, we can reverse the whole thing. And we have shown that. We have already converted that into the nanoparticles, and we are currently testing that. Hopefully, in next 6 months or 3 months or 2 months, you'll see that paper. I also work on asthma, in why the patient with asthma, if they get normal flu, they cannot breathe. So I have shown clearly an important factor, which I'm not going in detail, that IL-13 is the one which plays major role. And when we give anti-IL-13, it reverses all the hallmark features. This is in mice. This is all in mice model. But this is the real impact of the research. I get so many emails across the globe from so many people. My mother has lung cancer. My brother has lung cancer. Can I give berberine? Is your berberine product is in the market? Our berberine product is not in the market yet because we have not done clinical trials. We are at the preclinical trials at the moment. But if you read these emails, just the first email, I can read it for you. Hi, Dr. Dua. Dear Dr. Dua, I have 4 NLs. This is the known small cell lung cancer, and I'm interested in your research on the tumor-inhibiting protein of berberine. Imagine, I always tell to these people as a reply, you can take berberine. It exists in market in so many tablets and capsules. But consult your physician and clinician before you take that, because the medication and the therapy you are taking, it might work, it might not work. And probably because the one which is selling in the market are not nanoparticles. They are not liposomes. They are just the pure berberine into the capsule. If on the capsule it says 50 milligram, how much you think out of 50 milligram absorb into the body? Roughly. Out of that 50 milligram, which they state per capsule berberine, how much you think it normally absorbs into the body? Anyone? Just rough. Just roughly. 5 milligram. 50 milligram capsules, the exact berberine which reaches the systemic circulation, your blood, to show the action is 5 milligram. But I have shown when it gets into the nanoparticles, that 50 milligrams, out of that, it goes up to 29.5, which is better. I'm not saying it's 100%. It might improve with the technology as well. So I'm just waiting for the right company to take that product in the market. So what I'm trying to say here is, all of you can work, but I'll take back you to my introduction now, quickly, so that every one of you can think. I've shown you so much of research, which I can talk whole day, but I'll take you back to the same slide. This slide. This slide. All over India, everyone has already lost 3.5 years of your life because of pollution. But in Delhi, they have lost 8.5 years of their life. So what research I am doing, if it can help the humanity, even 1 person or 2 person or 10 people, at least I'm doing something aligned research to the healthcare system. I will end my talk with this slide, which is a very big statistics, and I really feel very ashamed because I come from Delhi. 8.2 years of our life is gone, according to WHO, because of pollution. And all over India, 3.5 years is not a small deal. If any one of you as a young researcher can take that passion on board and can start thinking and working, we have enormous phytoceuticals in India and overseas that can use synergistic approach to get this treatment done. But now, to end my talk, before actually I end, so these are so many research which I do in my lab. This is just some of those which I have shown you, but you can refer to the papers, anytime. And there are so many stories. If you Google berberine with my name, you'll get so many studies and news articles. But before I end that, I would really like to acknowledge some important people. Because of them, I'm standing here today. I would really like to thank actually Gokhale Education Society, particularly the Pharmacy College, and also Dr. Deshpande, also Professor Pingle, Professor Amtka, Professor Boraste and Lambole, who have been with me yesterday, traveling all the way from Bombay to Nasik, and I reached 4 o'clock in the morning. So you can imagine how much sleep I have. I was here at 9:30, 10. So even I'm standing looking like a zombie, and you have to really excuse me if I cannot say the names properly, because my Hindi is really good and bad. So you need to really excuse me. But from the heart, I would really like to say a big thanks to the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to be here in person.
Face, even if we want to achieve very better results, there are some experiment, there are some changes have to be done in the architectures, so that are also done in the
see is there part relationship between literacy and to tell the association and university. Now, following have despite significant association here and the of valued in 7.16 PV journal indicate that literacy this methodology to examine the shows point profile
Good evening to one and all. My name is I. Priyadarshini. I am here to present a topic on adaptive feature stream selection for smart AI system using a dynamic relevance threshold mechanism guided under Dr. Mrs. Sane. For a smart AI system, data is very important. So the AI system uses large volume of data and analyzes it for making any decision to achieve a goal. For if the data is very large, it is difficult for the AI system. So I would like to propose a feature stream selection method for the data which is used by the AI system, so that the AI system can be built in lesser time. And for doing that feature stream selection, I am going to propose a dynamic relevance threshold mechanism. Using this threshold mechanism, the relevant features can be extracted from the large volume of the data which would be used by the smart AI system. So this is, I'd like to, this introduction of this is, the feature selection is already a well-known topic, all do for pre-processing purpose. So there are two types of data there, static data and streaming data. And in the case of static data, all the data set is available, all the features are available at a single instant of time. So easily we can use a class-based method or structural method. Using filter, wrapper and embedded method, it is easy to select the relevant features from the given data set. The real challenge occurs when the data comes as a stream, in which where the instances can vary or features can vary. So I'd like to here work on the place where the instances are fixed, that is number of rows are fixed, but the features which is coming are changing dynamically. So this is my problem statement, that is to design an efficient feature selection technique for streamed data with varying feature set. That is, if you take as an hospital management system or something, if the sensors data are coming, but not all the data are available at the same instance of the time, at a particular instant of the time, different data comes, and the main objective is to select the important features seen so far. So this is the literature survey I have done. These three are the well-known algorithm for feature stream selection for where the features are arriving in a group. Usually people work on the feature stream selection. They consider that at every particular instant of a time, a single feature is arriving. So but I would like to work on group feature stream, that is at particular instant of a time. For example, 5 features are there, from that I have to select some feature, and at the different particular instant of time, different features are there, and we are not knowing likewise how many features are going to come, and so in that application, so the 3 main methodologies are there, and the main research gap which is found is, it is computationally expensive. To select the relevant features, it is very expensive. And some methodology they used, they selected relevant features, but they are not concentrating on redundant features. So the number of features what they have selected is large, as well as there is some threshold is required to set before doing this process. So defining that threshold is also very difficult. So these are the limitations which I have seen from the existing papers. So I would like to propose a feature stream selection method where there is no need to give any relevance threshold, and according the threshold we can define based on mutual information, and even we can find the relevant features as well as you can remove the redundant features. So this is the methodology. For example, at a particular instant of time, the features are coming, and usually what happens is previous authors they have used some threshold.
Due to which the absorption to the cell level is very quick. And so I'll give you a best example here. I have shown you a story of microRNA 125, 1 and B. So what we have done is the inhibitors, this one. So the microRNA 125A and B, we got the inhibitors from US, which can actually reduce the level of microRNA 125A and B, which gets up when a patient with COPD get flu. Okay? So those nanoparticles, how we prepared is, your epithelial loves sugar. Every cell loves sugar. Why? Because they need sugar as a source of energy. So what we done is, those inhibitors we entrapped into dextran-based nanoparticles. So those dextran-based nanoparticles, when we treated with the COPD-infected cells, those cells thought they are nutrition and a source of energy. But they didn't know there is an inhibitor sitting in there. So they actually absorb those inhibitors in the cells as a food. However, they release the inhibitors and they actually reverse the whole cycle. This is one approach, just of a nanoparticles to give you an example. But overall, we have shown in multiple studies Most of these nanoparticles are liquid crystalline nanoparticles. I use monoline and phytenterol. They are the two best polymers where the particle size can be reached up to the level. Even we use salbutamol inhalers and stuff, half of the cells never can go up to the epithelial cells in the alveoli region. They just go on the top surface. So to get to those particle size, we really need to devise the nanoparticles to the very small surface. And then when we reduce the size, so many properties change, PDI, zeta potential, and those characters also creates a lot of difficulty. So it's a lot of factors, I should say, that can actually enhance the absorption into the cell. And that's a different study, but I just give you an example of a dextran-based nanoparticles.
But we could change the size in a very low way, so they may alter the pharmacological activity also.
No, no. What we have shown on the cells, they don't alter, they enhance the therapeutic activity. We have never seen that the therapeutic effectivity is being altered or being hindered. I have never seen. Always with the nanoparticles, this is how the controlled release systems are being used to enhance, to reduce the side effect, adverse effect, and the bottom line is to get the maximum patient compliance.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
So
oh, there's a question. I think
yes,
I'm happy to
student
take question.
coming.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's student. Very good. Very good. It's over oh yeah, there's one more question after. I'll take that question, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can please sit here.
Very enlightening
We'll be
session,
taking
sir. And I want to ask you that you have shown some phytoconstituent and nanoparticles of them. So they are for localized therapy or systemic, or we can try both?
Very good question. No one asked and no one even think of that. What do you think? My nanoparticles, which I've been doing it, but they are just outside sitting on a bench. But how can it be delivered to the patient? And whether it should be the localized or systemic, which is a very good question. What do you think? Anyone? I'll give the answer. What do you think? It is primarily at the moment localized, but with Aerogen, our company, industry collaborator in Ireland, they have human simulated models. So they are trying to screen at the moment how it can be approached to the systemic. It is primarily more on a localized effect. But we need to also understand, when I showed remodeling, it only happened on the localized surface. So even if we manage to reverse the localized surface, you'd reduce the disease pathology by 40%. So it means you're giving patient, the one who get dead in 10 days, can live another 10 days. So this is what we're trying to do here. And I'm not a God-sended messenger or a magician that I can give 100% bioavailability of these nanoparticles. There was a question there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
One more challenge.
Yeah.
While developing nanoparticles, it can be nanoemulsion, suspension, or any form of nano formulation. Surfactant loading is very important. And if drug is giving us a very positive effect in terms of pharmacological action, but simultaneously surfactant are worsening the conditions. So how to resolve this? Or
so my title of my talk was sustainability. Did you look at that? I don't use surfactants. I use just the basic polymers. There is no surfactants being used in any of my study. And that is so true. The surfactants also come on the interface. Even if we don't add surfactant, lungs cells also have a little surfactant, which is a barrier. But what we have shown, our absorption into the cells are really high as compared to the normal non-loaded nanoparticles. That's a very good question.
Thank you, sir.
There was a question there.
So one last question we can take up now. Yeah,
over
please.
there, in the middle.
One more is there? Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Oh,
I am
sorry.
student of UG. Actually, I am working in silico drug discovery. So I want to ask you that it is good as in terms of research, or in vitro and in vivo work is needed for such phytochemicals and phytoceutical things. And also I want to mention that I am working on Salmonella typhi, the Indian well phytochemicals. So I want your suggestion about it, that these predictions are useful in future or not.
Okay, I will show you the answer. And I think Professor actually Patil and I was just discussing this before my talk. So I'll show you the answer, okay? That's okay, you don't worry, you can project it later. I just showed on my slide one study which was published last month, you know, and that study was quercetin. I was never even thinking I have to type here. Okay, I will go here. Can you project that? Oh my God. Just 1 minute. I think let me go to the paper first. It's just very slow. Oh dear. Okay, let's go here. Can you go there now? So this was the study which was quercetin. I showed you my latest, just a month ago, we have published this paper. You will see in a minute on a screen. And your answer is whether in silico, in vitro, those studies are being useful or not. So in this study, this is our paper, you can see we have a lot of in vitro and in silico studies at the bottom. These are the all network-based computational analysis. This is what you asked, right?
Yes.
Now, how I approach this. People work before doing the formulation into the in silico work sometime. You can do that. But sometime 80% of the people, those who work in silico before, they just publish the paper and stop there. They not really apply that knowledge into the real lab. How I do this is the other way around. I run the whole project. I prepare the nanoparticles, I test it, I do all this design of experiment. You can see all the zeta potential, PDI, ABCD, whatever you call of nanoparticles, all the biological studies. We do all the proteins. When it comes to proteins, you can see there are so many proteins which was picked in lung cancer. And when we looked at the RNA, there were two main RNA. If you see KRAS and BRAC, they are the two main genes you will see in any paper in cancer. When we have seen these are the proteins which are got down-regulated with our quercetin to make sure that they are currently correctly doing it with the existing literature, because with bioinformatic analysis, you not only just connect what existing, but you can also confirm your findings. But with all these network analysis, we were clearly able to say that the proteins what we're showing is correct proteins which were down-regulated. So we were in a position where we can clearly show that the results what we have is being confirmed using in silico or in vitro studies are all in vitro only what we have done, but they are correct on their grounds. If that answer your question.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Well, you can ask quickly. Yeah. You've been waiting. This is good. This is good. This is very good when you ask questions. That is the importance of the talk.
Sir, as you said that if ingested, these molecules are not wholly soluble. So does eating fruits with berberine content primarily help us prevent the diseases?
So you listen what I said, when you get a tablet of berberine, out of that 50 you get 5, but at least from fruit, which is not even you need to go and buy, you may get 2 or 1. So you're getting that particular dose of that active ingredient in your body with the normal healthy eating. That's why it is being said that eat the fruit every day. So you are getting, the percentage which is getting to your systemic circulation might be extremely low with the natural fruits. But with those natural fruits, you get other advantages as well. Not just only quercetin or berberine you get, but you also get alongside fiber. You get so many roughage, so many other advantages, and that's why it is really good to have fruits, those kind of things. In Australia, like we talk a lot about Ayurveda in India. In Australia, Australia is the country which is not actually of the white people. Do you know that? Do you know how Australia was existed? Do you know how Australia was emerged out? In Australia, the people who are the true nation people, they look like us. They look very much brown skin like us. And they are called Australian native indigenous people. I would request everyone, just whenever you get a time, Google it, Australian indigenous native medicines. And their medicines and our medicines are very similar. Australia is full of eucalyptus trees. That's how we get bushfires. What we get out of the eucalyptus? Eucalyptus oil. Here also, you go in the market, you will get 100 different cosmetic products containing eucalyptus oil. They people use so many. They had a fruit called kakadu plum. They had a fruit. It only comes in Australia, not here. They had a fruit called kakadu plum. And that kakadu plum is so efficient and effective in vitamin C. And those indigenous people used to prepare all these decoctions and stuff. And I'm currently working on some of their compounds to take it to the cellular and molecular level with advanced delivery. So it's your time now. Maybe you might be knowing something, a plant or a magical thing, which you can take it to the next level as well. I think I won't stop. You should stop me.
Okay, it was really a nice talk.
There's a question.
Yeah. Is there one more question? Nice. And this will be a last question, I think.
Hello, sir. Sir, I am a final year UG student. I am working on chemistry. In that, we design a synthetic scheme. From that scheme, we develop various derivatives. And that derivative showing the anti-inflammatory action on past software and there. So my question is, if we synthesize derivative like anti-inflammatory drug, that can be beneficial in future for COPD?
So you need to understand the pathophysiology of the disease first. Inflammation is a core part of every disease. Any disease, even if you get a little lesion on your skin, has inflammation. So anti-inflammatory forms a part in every disease. But in COPD, those compounds need to work on other factors as well, like bronchoconstriction, airway hyperresponsiveness, remodeling. It's not just alone in anti-inflammatory. If they have other synergistic effects, then they can definitely be sucked into the COPD. But otherwise, that anti-inflammatory compound be a good just in a wound or maybe a little lesion, that kind of thing. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Dr. Kamal. It was really a mind-blowing kind of session. And you have really elaborately told us how a research activity is taken up, how a problem for research is selected. And you talked about the topic which is near and dear to our heart, lungs. Okay? And it was really nice that the complete audience was sitting still. None of them were sleeping. As you said, you'll be keeping them awake. And I am thankful to organizers and Prashant sir for giving me this opportunity to chair the session. And as it is a customary to conclude the session by saying few words regarding our counterpart, India as counterpart, or Indians as counterpart researchers to what Australian people are doing. What has happened in India is we are stuck in conventional kind of drug discovery. No doubt that also is a powerful way of bringing in drugs. Indian government is also helping people here to start working on herbals as phytopharmaceuticals. So I'm taking that particular word phytoceuticals from Dr. Kamal's title. And we have to understand what is phytopharmaceutical and how Indian government is looking at this particular concept. Okay, so at present, Ayush Ministry has tried to support the people who are working in herbal sciences, herbal drugs, where if suppose you are having a plant, and if you can clearly demarcate which 4 phytoconstituents are present in that particular plant, which are related to biological activity, then you can consider it as a phytopharmaceutical. So that is a new class of drugs that Indian government is trying to bring in market. Okay? And that's where people like us who are living in India, who are working in Indian academic institutions, they can get some support. What happens in Indian institutions, even in my case, when we started working on pharmacological projects, we started working on herbal medicines only. Because we were not having sufficient facilities to work on new drugs because we could not work on the new molecular mechanisms and all. But now what has happened is, whatever assays we saw, whatever biological activities Dr. Kamal discussed with us, including network pharmacology, molecular docking, molecular dynamics, all these things have become very, very handy for Indians also now. Okay? In colleges like ours now, students are regularly taking up this kind of activities. So this particular talk is really helpful for us, and it has, I think, everyone in the audience might be feeling that this is how we can do research. And even in Indian organizations, sufficient facilities are available today. Whatever technologies you talked about, sir, majority of them are available even in Nashik. There are many laboratories in Nashik itself. Even private laboratories are there. Yesterday I got a chance to visit one pharmacology lab. So there all these facilities are available. So we sure, being Indian students working in organizations like even this organization, or even a distant organization working in villages, we can sure take up this kind of research. The talk was an example how you can look at the problems, how you can select a problem, how you can correlate your own life, the societal issues, the demography of a disease, and then based on that particular data, you can select the topic and you can start working on it. No doubt this kind of research needs industry and academic collaborations. Those things are also happening in our country now. Even in small places, people are contacting industries. Okay? So we are having a positive atmosphere, and I would like to request the audience, particularly students, to take inspiration from Dr. Kamal and start thinking about this. These all things are available to us. We can, if you put little more efforts, you will be able to perform such kind of assays. Okay? So with these few words, I hand over the mic to Dr. Basavaraj, please.
A very good evening. To conclude the session, I am here to propose the vote of thanks for this particular session. I profusely thank Dr. Kamal Dua sir for his extremely valuable, insightful session, for picking up and doing his research and sharing his experiences, on-hand practical experiences, and also the insights which are path-breaking and are very much contributing to the overall health of the population across the world, because he shared with us what is the scenario worldwide, what is the scenario of the respiratory diseases in India, what duration of life we are losing as Indians, as Delhiites, and also across the globe. And he has highlighted his research work as to what are the improvements what they have made and which have helped to deliver the sense more effectively, so that the duration of the life as well as the quality of life can be improved with these path-breaking technologies which are taking place in the field of phytoceuticals. So I thank Kamal Dua sir for sharing his valuable knowledge and all the research what is being done under his guidance and along with his collaborations across the globe. I also thank Dr. Chandragowda R. Patil sir for sharing his valuable insights and also his updating the audience about the facilities what are available locally, which could be very well taken benefit of, which the Nashik people can very well take benefit of. And I am much more thankful to all the audience, because we could see so many questions to Kamal Dua sir, and there were still some more eager to put up their questions, but considering the time limits. So I am thankful to the Pharmacy College and all the team who have brought Kamal Dua sir here to share his valuable experience and share his knowledge with them, to all of us. So thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. With the permission of the chair of the session, we declare that we come to the conclusion of this particular technical session, and the paper presentations and poster presentations have already begun. Evaluators are already there. We soon meet here for the cultural event sharp at 6:30. Thank you so much.